Hangout says we are now live and on air for Unfinished Business Part 2, brought to you through the Tides of Change and a bunch of my friends here who have started playing with us. We are continuing our adventure from last session where our heroes found themselves on a mining colony called Morage, going after various endeavors they had to take care of. And I'm going to pause for a second and let some of these characters introduce themselves.
All right, I'll go first. My name is Troy Spencer, and I'm playing Karlak Tisk, who is a Trandoshan marauder. He finds himself on this planet in search of a big, large creature, the Kargon, that's located here. He hasn't found one yet, but hopefully that'll change in the near future. He's united with these other players and characters on this planet. I'll give them a chance to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm William Blackwood. I'll be playing Exodus Zentrini or Grim whenever I'm hiding my face under the skull mask. Um, hooking up with this team, and I've actually got a personal mission. Not everyone knows about it yet, but I'm hoping today that we'll kind of dig into that, and they'll find out what my character's all about.
Hey, I'm Tyler Hurst, also known as DMPie on YouTube. I'm playing Terzak Sorva, the bounty hunter, who has a bit of unfinished business that he needs to take care of. He's searching for a person by the name of Zorban. He is a Twi'lek Black Sun's assassin who got away, and he has a bit of a darker past that he's also looking into, so we'll go into that maybe sometime later.
And I'm Josh Hayes. I'm running Shiaka Cielo. She is a former Twi'lek slave, now Mandalorian revenge seeker. So she is doesn't know who she's wanting to kill yet. Maybe we'll find some leads on that this session.
Okay, so when we last left off, the group had taken out a sniper and his droid in the shipping district of Morage and stuffed their prey, let's put it, into a shipping container, dragged him back to the ship with his gear. They have just returned to their ship and secured themselves without being able to get any interest from the local authorities or maybe other thugs, and I'm going to let them take it away as just getting back to the ship. Tell me what they're up to. So, anybody want mic's on, and away you can go.
Well, Terzak would immediately pull the guy out of the shipping container once getting onto the ship and just kind of like sling him over his shoulder and like walk back into the medical bay. You'd see him keeping the binders on his body, put him on the table, take his gun away and put it on the table next to him, and kind of like call Needles into the room with him, obviously preparing to do something.
Okay, the medical droid floats by, looking perplexed at the state of this cybernetically enhanced person who's been blasted and banged up and stuffed in a box with a sparking droid, and he goes to work.
Exodus is probably going to work on the droid. I know I couldn't get the hard drive out last time because I needed tools, so I'm going to try and find the tools I need around the ship.
Okay, quick rundown to the engineering bay. There's probably tools all over the place to make sure the ship runs smoothly, and I'm sure you could borrow some of them. Let's say I'll give you a boost die for finding the tools on the ship, and pulling the hard drive out of a normal droid might be a 2. Just a 2 purple, but because of how badly you guys blew the crap out of this droid, I'm going to put 2 setback dice on you because it was a mangled hunk of junk.
All right.
You know exactly where you got to go.
Oh.
Well, It is in there so hard that I think you're going to need a proper mechanic to get that hard drive out without damaging it.
Got it. Okay.
For the people who can't see, he just rolled several failures on the dice roll. But he did get one advantage. So
Yeah.
with your advantage, is there anything you'd like to let me know about? Or bid for?
Just other than the fact that there's no way I'm going to be able to get it out, I just want to make sure it's in pristine condition. It didn't get chopped up when Karlak pretty much chopped the droid into pieces.
Well, you were all witness to the massive axe swing on that droid, and potentially, as far as you know, that hard drive will potentially be intact. But that still is going to debate on the mechanic you may have to employ.
That works.
And Karlak and Shaka, what are you up to?
Well, Karlak not being an actual member of this crew in this ship would have just probably lingered in a communal area, maybe somewhere where there's some soft seats. So you see him sitting down with his legs up on the coffee table, sipping on this blue milk. This is delicious. If you need anything else dismembered, be sure to find me. I'll be here. And he's sitting down, like I said, in a completely relaxed state, maybe watching Shaka as she's walking about the ship. She seems to be the one in control here, so he's keeping his eye on her, plus for other reasons as well.
Shaka, for her part, is not unused to the idea of aliens of various species staring at her, so it doesn't even faze her that that's going on. She moves about the ship. She's leaving the interrogation of the sniper to the other two, and I mean, she doesn't have anything in particular that she's working on at the moment. Mostly just being around and making sure the ship stays secure and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Probably
Well,
listening to some comm chatter around the mining colony just to see if anything weird happens.
You've been around with Needles a bit, and he is now. He formerly was employed by your husband, who was a Mandalorian. Would he have problems with fixing people to have them talk to in a polite manner or an impolite manner, or would it be an issue to him at all? Would he be on the do no harm and try to avoid this person being hurt further?
I don't think he would be on that list because taking bounties in alive was something that her husband had to do. So, I mean, probably the idea of patching someone else up to the point that they can be talked to would not be foreign to him. He may not like it, but, I mean, it's not a foreign or new task for him, at least.
Okay. And I guess back to Terzak. You are in the back room. This floating medical droid is doing its best. It seems a little stunned as to what to try to fix first. The blaster bolt to its face, the respirator. he's looking over this. Excuse me. Unless for better words, victim. The person has assorted cybernetic body parts that are very obviously cybernetic now that a glove has been removed or a shirt's been moved. His mask is a breathing mask that's literally affixed to his skull. It's not an easy thing you can just pop off and put on a counter. It looks like it's almost part of his head. And you have his weapons. I'm assuming you're pulling and patting him down and doing your, smart bounty hunter approach and not saying, hey, you might have a holdout blaster. And as you pat him down, you're pulling, oh, look, a knife out of his, he had a ceramic blade up his sleeve. He had a holdout blaster in his boot. You play with his helmet with some rolls we just did, and you found that his helmet even has a transmitter. Basically, the same sort of comm link that he would pull out of his pocket to talk onto. He's got one built into his mask, so he has like a hands-free operation. And you managed to find that, and you flicked the switch and turned it off too.
Okay.
And you have
awesome.
his gun.
So is he's still unconscious though, right?
He is very unconscious.
Okay. So I'm just letting Needles do his work. Are there medical supplies available for Needles to use on this person?
He does have a stim pack.
Okay. I will pull, because I need this guy alive. I'll pull the stim pack I have out and offer it out to Needles. Like, here, use this also.
Well, he looks at you and says, "But you hit him with a stun blast. I'm going to need to administer something that will wake him up. Just I'll do what I can." And he looks at you kind of funny, like looks at the damage on him, sees the whip marks, and the potential crash marks. I believe there was an axe chop in the direction of this person. He got out of the way, and it probably went through his clothes. He is astonished that this person is even alive, but he's going to go to work. So I'm going to need a little while to work this out. Why don't you play with those toys and see if you can get any information out of him while I do my job at fixing this person and making him alive.
Okay. So with him telling me this, I'm just gonna go back over the table and like look over the gun and see if I can find any serial numbers on it or anything that I can trace back to maybe where it might have been purchased. Because it's an older variant type sniper rifle, right?
It is a very old gun. You look at it and it looks like something you've seen in a manual in a museum potentially. You're not even sure why he would choose to use this with the current technologies that are available. Maybe he's just doing it because it's a signature kind of thing. You don't know, but it is far different from your gun, and it looks like it's a lot of integrated pieces. You pop off the laser sight at the front, you find that it is fully compatible with your gun, and it attaches quite easily. You try to take the flash suppressor off, and it just doesn't seem to go. The scope that I had mentioned before that he was using on you has a camera built in. It's a one solid piece, and you're looking at the computer connection to view the data, and you're like, I don't even think they even make those 3 generations ago anymore. You might have to, like, how do I get this information out of here? Well, he might have the cables back at his base or his ship or his hideout, wherever that might be. And the tools. The screws are even weird. Like, when right now, if you were to try to take apart a McDonald's toy and they have little triangle screws in them, the equivalent of that in Star Wars.
Okay. So I'm looking down at this gun. I'm going to see if I can find any sort of a serial number on it or anything. Maybe some sort of a identification number that I can trace it back to where it was purchased or where it may have come from.
You get a brand model on it and of a blaster company, a serial number that has been ground, and like this is where the serial number would be. It's not just that it's been etched out. It looks like somebody has taken a laser scalpel and cut that part away, then filled it back in with brass. And when you look at the text, it says something very, very weird. And you pull it up on a screen and you zoom in, you blow up. And if you're looking at this, you're looking in the wrong place. Like that's how. And then you get a little smirk over your face, like he must have planted that there, knowing he might get caught someday.
Okay. So I just kind of smile, admiring this bounty hunter's sense of humor, like kind of understanding where he's coming from. I'm assuming he's a bounty hunter of some sort that was hired on. So I'll take the gun, take what I can off of it. I'll take the weapon harness, the strap off, and attach it to mine as well. And then I'll walk out while Needle's working, and kind of set the gun down next to Grim, and say,
If you get an opportunity, try and look through the feed of this. Perhaps we can find some clues. The camera has a video recording feature.
I'll definitely give it a shot. It's not like I can do anything with this hard drive right now.
And I just nod to him and turn and start walking away. And I look over at Karlak, and kind of like, your assistance may be need. Oh, dang it! I didn't turn on the thing.
Your assistance may be needed.
And then walk back in the other room.
You walk back from which you came.
Yeah, back into the medical room.
Alright, so you see Karlak. He stands up. His big lumbering form starts walking towards you. Then he turns back over his shoulder, turning back towards the sofa where he was sitting, and reaches down and grabs his oversized vibro axe. Yes, I might be needing this. And he starts to walk back towards the door where you exited. Instead of lifting the axe, however, he's like dragging it across the metal floor of the spaceship, and you could hear this all the way down. It's like just like chalk on her fingers on a chalkboard as this large, like I said, oversized axe is dragged behind him.
If DJ Niner could put his own earphones on, he would be right now. His hands would go up like his little, and he's looking for like, what can I make to make a bebop noise so we don't have to hear that.
Terzak like mutes his helmet for a second until he gets in the room and is no longer dragging it behind him.
Okay, and Shaka, you said you were on comms, so we're gonna flip to the front of the ship. You put your feet up in the chair, you're flipping through the channels, and you are astonished that there's no chatter about the firefight you were just in, about the explosions, about people walking down the street with a shipping container. It is very eerie that there is nothing.
So
and
what are they talking about? Did something more disturbing happen in town tonight?
Normal business. It is like, work shifts are about to change. The tram is coming in to get people out to their shift. There's a shipment of something coming in. It is normal comms chatter. There is the absence of any... the security forces are talking about just doing their regular patrols. And if you would like to make a potential like streetwise type roll or military roll or something along those lines, if you have something in that flavor that against...
I'll do streetwise.
Streetwise. Against 2 purple and a red.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay. Oh, and you got your force die still on. You don't pick up anything of any kind, and...
I get distracted by some story, like some affair going on or something, because I got the 3 threats as well.
You are totally engrossed in this thing going, these guys...
these guys...
Either in their ineptitude of missing you guys, or this is dull. And you almost nod off on the chair. Listening, it's so boring.
You're typical... I'm going to be totally sexist here. You're like a totally lady, and you're like, heard this radio soap opera, and you're so caught up into it.
Well, no, because it's not a radio, it's like the comms, but it sounds like a soap opera. Like, she thinks that someone's about to get caught cheating on someone else, so she's like listening in, trying to catch that, and got bored with the original reason she was listening to the comms.
She's like, no, Raphael, no, you love her.
See, I thought it was that annoying screech that we all just heard, so...
Oh, that may have distracted her,
He
too.
plugged his earphones even harder in to block out the ship noises. Okay, and then back to the med bay, and where Karlak and Terzak are standing watching Needles do his work and moving his multiple hands moving very quickly, patching and repairing, and then he looks up at you. Are you just going to undo all the work that I do here? That is quite annoying. Don't answer that question. I don't want to know. And he picks up a syringe and sticks it in the thigh of the bounty hunter who he has put in the normal kind of restraints for medical work. Maybe it's not prisoner level restraints, but he is inconvenienced, and he injects this syringe into the leg of the sniper, and the sniper takes a big breath with his normally he has a face mask with a cord that plugs to an oxygen tank. Well, Needles has plugged that tank into some sort of breathing system to make sure this guy can breathe. And his glowing eyes turn back on, and the chest fills with air, and the head kind of tilts up to see the two of you, and then the head bonk back down on the medical table, and the metal from his implants bangs off the stainless steel of the table. And he kind of just, there's a slight shake of his head where he realizes this is not going to be good.
It's probably a comedic scene as he looks at this large Trandoshan sipping on this blue, what looks like a drink that a child would drink out of. That's what it is. It's like a straw, and he got this big fang mauled mouth, and he's got this straw in it, and he's like sipping on this drink. Shooter, what are we gonna do with this one? We can't just leave him here like this. Surely someone will be coming to find him.
And his eyes turn over and pan over at the sniper, knowing exactly what the sniper would be thinking in that situation.
And
It
I
would
just
be
kind
coming
of,
for you if this happened to you.
yeah, beneath my, well, somebody to clean up. And beneath my mask, I'm just smiling at this, like knowing that either he's accepted that this is the end, or he has some sort of a hope and maybe giving us answers. So I kind of like walk around him, and I kind of like have this ceramic blade in my hand, like testing it against my like finger to see how like tough it is, and I kind of just smile as I find its very sharp edge, and I kind of like lean down up in his face, and I slam it down into the table next to him, not enough to like break it or anything, but just like kind of like put it down next to him, like scrape the table next to his head.
So, my friend, are you ready to talk?
Through his respirator mask. You would talk if you were in this situation?
And I just kind of eye him as he's, like he makes a good point, and I say,
Well, if you talk, then the one who's after you will be gone, and you will be free. So, are you ready to talk?
I've heard it before. And especially with those colors in that armor that you wear, there's no way I'm talking to you. Especially with another one of you on board with the colors. No. There's nothing you can do. You can feed me to your lizard there if you want to. And he's kind of, like, he gives some sort of, like, disparaging, he tries to tilt his head up to, provoke the large Trandoshan, but he knows it's not going anywhere.
so I just kind of smile at him then as he's like, "Oh, I'm not talking. Like, there's nothing going down here." And I lean down, and maybe like as I get close, he can see through a bit through the visors, and he just sees these like sky blue eyes that are just like glaring at him.
I want Zorvin. I do not need to kill you, but if you make me do it, I will.
What makes you think Zorvin had anything to do with this? As he coughs and
Is he
through
lying?
the rest of it, you can make a would that be
Perception.
deception versus
Perception.
his perception versus your deception, and his would be he would have 3 purples, and just to make things nice for you, I'm gonna get some of these destiny points going, so it's now 2 purple and a red.
Okay. All right. Well, here we go then.
And before you roll, he's quite injured. Okay, oh, you already rolled. I'll save it for the next one then. So, with your success, you don't think he is lying. However, with your threats, you know that he's going to be a tough nut to crack, and it's going to give him resistance to your further questions.
Okay.
But he
So
doesn't
why
appear
kill
to
a Rhodian then?
he has nothing to do with Zorvin.
Sorry. Okay.
But
So I asked him that question. So why kill the Rhodian?
because I was paid to. Why would you kill someone? Do you shoot people for the heck of it? I shoot it because I get money for it.
I look him in the eyes and says, "Do you shoot people for the heck of it?" And I say,
I'm thinking about it.
and then slowly stand back up away from him. And
Oh.
I say,
Make it good.
So who are you working for then?
I'm not telling you that. Till I tell you I'm as good as dead, so I can die here on this table or die slowly to those people. I'll take. Hey, you with the scales. You wanna practice that axe swing? Nice vertical 12-6 jump right here. He tries to move his hand to demonstrate where his hand is restrained. He's like, wouldn't be much of a target for you now, would I?
Karlak is kind of standing there indifferent, just still sipping on his juice drink, just watching Turzak do his work. Just waiting for him to give him some indication that he might need him to do something more physical.
So I look down at him as he's like trying to provoke my companion right now, and I say,
So you're not talking, huh? Hell you aren't.
and I raise the ceramic blade over my head and slam it down into his shoulder, and then I
Okay.
twist it.
Well, you hit, and you would expect it to go in a lot farther than it does, and it hits. It must have hit some sort of metal implant, and it stops. And he looks at you, and he winces in pain, and then he looks at you, and he's like, from his comedic point, it's like, if you wanted to do real damage, you might want to hit a fleshy spot. And he seems like he's not taking you seriously at all now. He
Okay.
thinks it's almost funny. And then his head pulls back and he passes out again.
Oh, what? Oh, okay.
Needles looks at you. Really? More blood on my table? I'll fix him. It's going to take me a moment.
Okay. I step away.
Needles pulls out the knife, sets it on the disinfecting table, and just goes to work. And he looks over at you, shakes his head, looks in the wound, looks at you. And then we go back to the front half of the ship. So, Grim, you're still doing your best at this point. I know we kind of resolved your trying to remove the computer thing, but you've been kicking at it, trying to get it out. It isn't a 30-second job. You pull at it, you go find Shaka to see if there's any other tools, and you break Shaka's concentration on the soap opera going on and the comms.
Finally. She'll like, well, there may be some over here, and like leading back to the holding areas, and the engineering compartment. Maybe some of this is useful. I don't know. That's not my thing.
So you do your thing, and you hear a small scream from the back in the medical area.
What the hell are they doing?
Interrogating.
And failing by the sounds of it. Someone screaming is not someone talking.
So
I will, I'm going to, on the ship's comm unit, I'm going to walk over and press a button to signal for Needles to come out of the medical bay whenever he gets a second, whenever he's stabilized, whatever just happened.
a few minutes go by, and Needles turns to the other two people in the room. He says, he's going to need some rest. There's been a lot of damage. Why don't we give him a little bit of time? And I need to go see the captain, and I believe, and he picks up a syringe, sticks it in his other leg, injects him with something. He won't be bothering us for a little while, and puts the syringe down and floats off towards the piloting compartment of the ship.
All right.
Yes?
I was waiting to see if those two are following him or what.
I'm not sure.
No, once the droid walks away from the side of the table, I kind of circumvent and walk up to that area opposite to where Terzak is. Says, he looks a little too comfortable for my liking. He looks like he's ready to be on vacation. We don't want him to be on vacation, do we, Shooter?
I look down at the body, and I say,
It takes 25 pounds of pressure to break a small bone. If he doesn't talk anymore, you have my permission to do so.
Just the one bone? Maybe I'll do
Just
many
heart.
bones. Let's make him a little less comfortable, shall we? I'm going to grab him by his ankle, and then you see me start to lift him up. And with my opposite hand, I'm like lifting him off the bed. And I reach around and grab a rope from my my side belt, and I start tying it around his ankle. And I'm looking for the bulwarks, the ceiling, to see if there's somewhere to like drape this rope over. I'm going to attempt to hang him upside down in a more compromised position.
So as he's looking to do this, I like look at him
Don't leave him hanging for too long. If we do so, he might die.
and I turn and walk out the door. Oh, there goes Alex.
Cool. So
Okay,
as you're
guys.
doing that, I'm going ahead and I'm stringing this guy up by his ankles.
Okay. And we all get 100 experience points. I'll take over for him until he gets back. And
This might not end well for our prisoner.
no.
I was thinking that same thing. I'm like, y'all are about 2 steps away from, Karlak eating him while he watches.
I got a couple other tricks up my sleeve.
There's no good cops in this game. Maybe Shotgun.
All I know is that his body's pretty much made of metal, and I have shock gloves, so. I'll get something out of him. Don't worry.
Sorry, guys, I lost connection.
No worries. While you were away,
Oh, good. Welcome back.
I attempted to hang up this our captive by his ankles. So I'm not just going to let him sleep on the bed comfortably. I'm going to string him up, basically, from his ankles.
Okay. Extended time upside down may not be healthy for him, but
Oh, yeah. So, Tarzak's already made that clear, but I'm doing it anyway.
So is his body pretty much completely metal? Like, is he like have tons of implants and just cybernetic attachments and?
his one leg from just below the knee, or just above the knee down, his right leg from the knee down, his right arm from the elbow down, his left shoulder has some work in it, and that's where you stab the knife. He has this. It looks like when you're looking at him now, he's got shrapnel wounds and burn marks. It looks like he suffered some major damage from something. He's got burnt, like
hit on a bomb or something.
a bomb has gone off near him, a flamethrower, acid. There's shrapnel wounds. He's seen a lot of combat, or one very, very bad incident.
Interesting. Can I tell if all of these attachments were done at the same time?
Sure. If you want to make a medical roll, you need to say 3 purple.
Oh, that's medicine. Oh man. All right. Well, 3 purple.
And I'm going to give you a boost die because of your expertise in inflicting damage.
Oh, perfect. And okay, let's see. Oh,
You can't quite
so
tell.
many blank dice.
You can't tell,
Okay.
but you would guess so, because the only thing that gives you the you guess so is that the cybernetics are different colors. So they were obviously put on.
I'll have Needles take a look at it or something.
Okay. Sorry. So back to
and then I'll walk.
All right, so
I'm gonna
Needles
follow
and I
Needles.
are having a conversation while they're stringing the guy up and evaluating the cybernetics. Basically, I get Needles to fill me in on what's gone down so far, and then once I get the brief of what's going on and that they haven't really made it anywhere with the interrogation, I give Needles the order to make sure he's comfortable and that he'll live. Give him enough sedatives to keep him unconscious for about 3 or 4 hours at least, and put him in holding cell 1.
I hope you don't mind. I already gave him enough to knock him out for 6.
Oh, okay. Well, that's more than enough time then. But yeah, holding cell 1.
He was pretty badly damaged. I have some stitching to do on him, and still a couple other small fixes to make sure that he will mend.
Right.
And then I'll have to bring up some sort of breathing apparatus connecting him to that holding cell, because his breathing mask is his tank actually connects to his shoulder, so it doesn't flop around or make noise. But
Seems
I have him hooked
unusual.
up directly to the ship's air supply right now.
Have you seen anything like that before?
Uh, he thinks about. The only thing I can think of is that somebody had to jury rig something for parts, and they used what was available. Because this is not standard. You would have a mask that would allow you to rebreathe regular air. You wouldn't carry an oxygen tank on your own back.
Interesting. Okay.
A lot of his gear seems very old.
When they were patting him down for weaponry and tools, you said they found a ceramic knife?
Ceramic knife, they found a set of lockpicks, they found a holdout blaster, and a comlink built into his helmet.
Okay. The ceramic knife, whenever you put him in the cell, replace that where they found it. Let him believe that it was missed.
Okay, well, they used it on him in
Oh,
interrogation.
never mind then. That won't work.
I could put back one of the lockpicks.
Yeah, put something like that back. Not enough to actually break out of the cell, but to give him hope.
Okay, I can work on that. Will you distract the other two so I can accomplish that, or are they going to see me do this?
Yeah. Tell them that I want to speak with them whenever you go back in there.
Okay, so Needles waddles back to the, or floats back to the medical bay and says, "The captain wishes to see you too." And he looks at, "What are you doing to my patient?" He just looks at you two like, you know how hard, you know how much energy I have to spend to levitate that high up to do work on him upside down?
You see, Karlak looks over his shoulder and his reptilian tongue sticks out. He kind of like hisses at you. I'm not finished with this one.
Well, then you can wait till at least I've patched the wounds so you can make new ones.
Shaka wants to speak with me.
Yes, and I would like the blood to stop dripping all over my clean medical floors. So out with you. I have work to do.
I tie the
There's
end of the rope off onto the bench or the bed that he was lying on, fully keeping him extended up into the air. I'll be back for this one.
Very well.
I actually leave my vibroax there as well,
Okay.
and I start walking out towards the door, towards where Shaka was last seen.
Shock is going to be in the like the public area, just the gathering room, basically. Probably attaches to the mess hall, sort of thing.
I'll call that a...
Sitting there. You guys don't have much experience in interrogation, do you?
I look over to the Tarzan.
Tarzak,
I know how to make people talk, if that's what you mean.
as I take my gloves and like make them spark in my hands. Like
That's
pain
how
solves all problems.
talk, but that's not how you find out information.
And I kind of just like gesture with my hand, like, go ahead, you show me how it's done then.
She nods. He'll be out for about 6 more hours because of the sedatives that were given to him. When he awakes, you all will need to not come into the back hallway where the holding cells are for several hours, potentially. But you'll want to stay handy in case he does escape.
I kind of like look at her like what do you mean, like, in case he does escape? Like, we took a set of his lockpicks. I don't think he's getting out of anywhere.
Oh, he'll have them back whenever we put him in the holding cell.
And I kind of just
And at
cock my
that
head
point,
to the side and just like shrug my shoulders.
I hit one of the code patterns for a different hollow image from a hollow costume, and it's the classic Twi'lek slave girl look. I'll be in holding cell 2 when he is in holding cell 1 awaking. And he will give me information because I'm a fellow captive.
Didn't he see you, like, with your, like, normal... Or did you have your armor on, your battle armor?
I had the Mandalorian armor on.
Okay, cool. And I just kind of shrugged my shoulders, like, okay, man, your plan. And just, like... I kind of sigh and, like, flex my hands, like, oh, man, I wish I got to use these.
I think we lost Alex again.
I see my services are no longer needed here. At least for a while. Unless you want me to join you in holding cell 2, Shaka.
Shaka just looks at him like, no. Doesn't say anything, just gives him a look, laughs, and heads to the mess hall as she punches the buttons to change her costume again to some more normal.
Okay, shooter. Let me retrieve my things. I'm going to be leaving for a while.
And I walk back into the med lab. Is Needles in there at this point?
Probably. Getting the stuck guy doctored
Probably
up.
trying to patch him while he's upside down.
Yeah. I'm just going to take my axe and like unceremoniously leave. I'm not going to help get him down or anything.
Okay.
Sorry once again, guys. I'm not sure what happened there.
No worries.
It's all
Quick
good.
Quick recap: Shaka's going to play she's going to play the role of being another captive to try and lure this guy into open conversation, and Terzak is going along with her plan. Karlak is kind of indifferent to the whole thing, so he's gone in to retrieve his axe, and he's actually going to be leaving the ship to follow up with some of his own business because this stuff is kind of getting boring to him.
Okay, so Shaka, just quickly, how are you going to make him believe you're another captive? And you did whip him in the last episode.
I did, but I was a Mandalorian.
Right.
And I'm going to be in holding cell 2 as a Twi'lek slave girl.
Okay.
So I'm going to be in the cell next to him when he wakes up.
Maybe Shaka would like to get beaten around a little bit to make it more
No.
Needles
plausible.
can inject you with something to make you look like you're damaged.
Yeah,
Maybe.
sure.
You just go for the
Probably
real
not the
thing.
first time. That's probably something Needles keeps on stock because this is probably not the first time this tactic has been used by the.
He can do the medical apply and airbrush and that kind of thing.
Sounds good.
Okay, so Karlak, are you going to leave the ship then while they're? Now remember, we also when we left off session 1, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. It
Right.
is very, very late. You have been up. All of you have been up for exceedingly long. So I'm going to say everybody's now incurred 2 strain from being up for over 20 hours worth of endeavors, from combat to stealthing
Yeah.
around to doing what they've been doing. It is very late.
And if we're just waiting for 6 hours for him to wake up finally, I'd probably just go and like try and sleep it off, knowing that I'm only gonna perform at my best if I'm at my best. So
Okay.
Same here. I'm not getting anywhere with that hard drive, so I'm probably gonna just like get fed up, throw a tool, and take a break.
Well, you've been cutting at this thing for a while, and you are not a happy camper that you can't get it out.
I
You
like
think, you know what? You're going to have to get help.
I ripped him open with my bare hands. Why can't I use a tool to take this guy apart
Well, safely.
safely?
Yeah, Karlak's actually going to rest as well, being that little
Okay.
fatigued and late.
The main lounge area could easily support you. There are several quarters on this ship.
Mhm.
the way I recall, Karlak was closer to the refresher.
Yes.
I will call back up the screen.
Yes.
Can we access like general computers and stuff while we're in our individual sleeping quarters? I want to
Sure.
do some scanning of the planet if that's possible. I don't know if that technology exists on the ship or not.
You could access a computer which could access their net.
All right, so I'm going to do
General
some do some research on the topography of the planet and try to get some information on the Gamma sector, where that the gentleman in the cantina had told me there were some sightings of those monstrous creatures that I'm here. So I'm just doing some
Okay, make me a computer
information.
rolls against 2.
Oh,
Perfect.
all right. So you see me fiddling around with these mechanical computer bits, and I don't have a clue how to do it. The difficulty 2.
Yep.
All right. So intelligence. 1 success. So after some time, I'm able to get the information that I need.
So the equivalent of their Google Maps, you are able to pull up a generic view of the area, and your assessment of it is that it's a fair decent trek away from town. However, if you were to use their tram, that would take the settlers to the mine, but stop about 70% of the way to their mining location and find a way of getting off this high-speed train, it would take off days off of your journey. And it would be a lot safer because you wouldn't be going through hard terrain, bad weather.
Yeah, what kind of terrain are we looking at here? What kind of, is it mountainous? Mountainous, yeah.
Craggy rocks, wet moss over stuff, fog. You can't fly in, or the locals recommend you do not fly in. There's lightning that goes horizontally between the mountain peaks on random intervals, and that's why this train is installed. So you would shuttle everything as close to the ground as possible with the lightning rods along the tracks that would take any of the electrical strikes away.
Very cool. So as I'm looking at this landscapes and this territory, you see me, I pull out all my materials and gear from my backpacks and stuff and start laying it out across the table and taking account of all the things that I might need. So I'm going through all the pieces that are in my utility belt and backpack and the climbing gear and breathing mask and all my gear. I'm getting everything in place to head out and potentially do this at sunrise.
Okay. Takes you hardly any time with that great roll that you made that our people watching at home can't see. And Grim, you're about to nod off for the night and thinking about your personal business. And as your head is hitting the pillow, you think you're going to go to sleep and thinking about what you have to do. And if I have it handy, at that point in your as you're about to fall asleep, you have this vision. Hopefully my screen switched for you.
Yeah.
And that's what you see as you fall asleep briefly, and then you wake up from that because it changes to this.
Gotcha. Yeah, at that point, I'm probably going to wake up screaming. Like, that's pretty brutal.
Well, you've seen them in your dreams occasionally before, but the colors were more intense, and the lines on that blue vision that you had were also more defined. You don't know what it is, but
No.
you were like, the blue is almost making you relax. How the peace that it would have and the serenity, and then all of a sudden, completely startled as this explosion, which you have seen in your dreams many, many times from your homeworld being destroyed.
Yeah, at that point, definitely going to wake up, upset, probably startled myself in my sleep because that's pretty intense, and just try and shake it off, and I just want to try and focus on the blue because I keep dreaming about that, and I just can't figure it out.
Yep. And you eventually fade back into sleep. All of you wake up the needles activated a ship-wide alarm for you to tell you that he's projecting that the prisoner, the sedatives, would no way have woken him up yet. He would still have about an hour before he would waken. So you have time to get ready to do what you have to do.
I actually, Shaka is actually going to fall asleep in the neighboring cell, so
Okay.
that if him getting up wakes me up, or if I wake up naturally before then, whichever the case may be, basically I'm going to have the hallway to the cells locked down to where no one's supposed to come in until they get a signal from me, basically, which I'll have DJ monitoring in case that happens before people wake up, type thing. So.
Okay. And Needles has told you that he's supposed to check in at a certain time to check his patient, just to make sure.
Okay.
So all of you wake up. Is there anything you need to tell me in the morning? Karlak, are you getting up and saying let's go, or are you doing anything in the morning with your information?
Oh, I don't intend to get anyone to come along with me. I fully intend to do this independently at this stage.
Okay.
But I'm not in a rush to get moving either. I'm kind of intrigued on what the captain has planned here, so I'm kind of slow out the door, if you will.
The tram will be heading out in about 2 hours, and then it will head out again in 4 hours after. Every 4 hours after that. Okay, so I'm going to say, Shaka, you're in your cell, and about a half an hour earlier than what was projected, you hear some slight rustling from the cell beside you.
Okay. I'm not gonna bolt awake or anything like that. I'm just gonna let him wake up and start to take stock of the situation, and enjoy the last few minutes of rest before I have to break into character, basically.
Okay. Well, about a half around the time when he was supposed to wake up, you can hear slight movement from the cell beside you.
Okay.
And if you want to make a perception roll, just against 2 purple. Being that you've done this trick before, you've got an angle, maybe you're looking at a reflection off of a screen or something into his cell, or if you have the cell directly across from him, you're looking right at what he's doing.
Okay. Nothing there as far as that goes.
Okay.
But once I start to hear actual moving around and whatnot, I will go through my own wake up routine and just playing the part of someone who's actually been here for more than a night, as far as how I'm waking up and that sort of thing. So.
Well, you start making noise, and the sniper, it goes dead quiet over there.
Okay. She'll eventually, as she gets up and moves around a little bit, she'll look over and see that she has a neighbor, and she'll say, "Good morning."
Is it? Oh. How'd you end up in here?
I pissed off a hut.
So this is a bounty hunting ship, then.
It is.
That's good to
The
know.
owner of the ship makes his living through bounty hunting. And the hut did not want me back, so now I'm a permanent crew member, trophy, something. I don't know. Depends on his mood.
Hope I don't end up like that. Which one is the owner? The scaly one, or the loudmouth guy with the gun?
She says neither of them. They're hired help.
Oh, they're the flunkies. That's good to know.
They're good at their job, but
And he rolls over, and the binders that were holding him, he moves and he wiggles. He disconnects his one leg, slides out of brings his shackles in front of him, pops his leg back on. Like amateurs.
Seeing that, she gives a genuine laugh. Well, that's a neat trick.
Well, It comes off.
I
Right?
mean,
Like,
she like motions to herself. There's flexibility, and then there's that. I mean,
well, I'm sure you can get more than those Liku behind your head, but we don't need to know that for today. And he gives a little chuckle, and his rebreather cuts out as he laughs. And he's looking around, and then he realizes he looks like, he moved his arm, and he checked his sleeve for something, and you can't see facial expressions, but his body language from your performer thing tells you that he is quite happy with something.
she doesn't make an immediate response to learning that information. She says, normally breakfast is, she looks around, I would guess in about 30 minutes or an hour, something like that, depending on how late you kept them out last night with your activities.
Well, it is what it is. I'm not sure why they want me in here, but... So what's your name?
I'm Shaka.
Shaka. Well, nice to meet you, Shaka. I'm sorry
Nice to
that
meet
you
you.
have to fall upon some less reputable people like that. And from your perception of, again, talents of working in reading people industry, he is trying to play you for information.
Okay.
He
And
is...
I'm playing that part right now, so.
Yep. He is, it seems like he genuinely cares about, your welfare, and he's, oh, that's so horrible, and he's trying to build an empathy thing where you might feel comfortable talking to him. And he is looking, right now he gets up and he starts looking around the cell for various ways of trying to figure out how to escape. That's quite obvious while he's standing and looking at things.
Well, she will make small talk with him, and one of the things she'll point out is, does that cell still stink? Like burnt hair?
I can't tell through the mask.
Oh, well, very fortunate for you. There was a Wookiee in there a month ago or so. And, yeah.
Okay. We're going to go back to the other guys. You guys are sitting in the lounge area. There's a comm channel open. You have a video camera view. You're all sitting around having your Cheerios, effectively. More blue milk. Maybe blueberry. I don't know what kind of cereal, whatever it is. But you're watching the TV screen that has a hidden webcam view of this. So what are the three of you up to?
Well, I'm gonna mention to the guys. I didn't get anywhere with that hard drive, so chances are I'm gonna need to go find somebody in town to help.
And you also know, Grim, that the other business you have, the longer it takes, the more chance somebody else will complete it for you and collect, and or he will get away.
Got it.
That was your side thing that...
Yeah.
And Turzak, while you're sitting around debating your morning, you also realize that Zorvin is still out there somewhere, potentially, because you still haven't seen him yet, but you get the idea that he is pulling strings from behind the scenes. It's just that, or at least that's, you're potentially like, what could he be up to today?
Okay. So the process that's going through my mind right now is that, yeah, he was paid to kill that Rhodian, but that means he knows somebody who wants the Rhodian dead who had information on Zorvin, because I knew the Rhodian had information. So whoever he's connected to might know that information as well, which is why I'm so fixated on getting him to talk. So I'm just thinking of where I could shock him that would get the most effect out of it right now, and playing with my gloves. And then from time to time I'm pulling out his sniper and looking at it some more and trying to find any clues on the gun. But I'm also sitting on high alert in case anything goes down that was unexpected. My sniper is sitting right next to me and it's all ready and loaded and ready to shoot.
Perfect.
In contrast to you, Karlak is in a very calm state. He's just sitting back again with his legs up and relaxed,
Don't worry, Tarzak. The captain will get the information you need. Hopefully soon, for I fear my time with you is coming to an end.
And Needles grabs a couple plates of food from the auto chef and says, I'm going to take these in at that time. And Needles floats away. Security door down at the brig opens. Needles floats in, slides the food tray under your grate. Like he opens up a bar, gets slid out. He slides the tray in, the bar goes back in. He moves over to the next cell, slides the food through, and he says, "I haven't completed the medical analysis on you. With that mask, are you able to eat solid food?" And he nods.
She'll make some sort of joke or something about the droid while the guy is getting his food and whatnot. Basically, it'll be like a standing joke. It'll probably be something that she made the joke about the first time she met Needles, and it basically is just anytime this routine goes down, it lets Needles know that it's going according to plan, sort of thing.
Very well. No, you may not have extras, but lunch will be served at its regular time. And are you in fine physical condition this morning, or do I need to sedate you to run checks on you?
She'll laugh a bit and say, "I am perfectly fine. I can handle myself. Mr. Mask
Very
over
good.
here might want something."
Mr. Mask? What is that? By the way, Mr. Mask, for my medical records, is there a name I should call you? And he says, "Yeah, the last. It's the last name you'll ever know."
Well, that's grim.
Well, hey, when you work in the industry. And he kind of chuckles through the mask, and Needles floats away. And the door locks behind him. So he looks at the food, looks at you, and he goes right back to figuring out how to get out of the cell, doesn't even bother with the food.
Okay. Well, she starts eating a bit and watching him. So are you good at breaking out of these things?
Wouldn't say good.
I mean, I suppose that's relative as to whether or not you actually get out, but I mean, would you
Sure.
be opposed to helping me escape as well whenever you do?
Well, everything has its time and its purpose. And he reaches up his sleeve through the seam of his sleeve. He pulls out a wire, and he starts playing with it with the locking mechanism. And with his skullduggery, I'm going to say your cell is a 2 purple, 1 red to get out of.
Okay.
That's just the cell, not the brig, because he's got to get out of the cell, then he's got to get out of the brig itself.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to play with his matching dice, and he gets a boost die from having assorted tools to help him out. And just because he really would like to make things move along and help you guys out down the road, he is going to flip 1, swapping that to 2 yellows and a green. And since you're in control of the ship, if you'd wish to repose him, you could. And likewise, if you want him to escape for any purpose plots, you could use your force point or destiny point in relationship to that.
As he's picking the lock, I'm not directly opposing him. I actually want to roll a charm check at the same time, though, to convince him that helping me escape, if he's successful, would be in his best interest as well, and that I know people who owe me money or something like. I mean, like, I know sources of funds that can help us get off this planet. I know some people who have a ship that can be of assistance to us, that sort of thing.
Well, he said, well, I'll think about it based on if I can get out. So once I make my roll for the attempt to get out, and he broke even.
Nice.
So he's having a little trouble getting out of the cell.
All right.
So he's going to need something else to try again of some kind.
Well, basically,
He puts the lockpick back up his sleeve as well.
as he stops and whatnot, she's gonna start probing him. So what got you stuck on here? What'd you do? Who hates you? Because she's basically making the assumption that he's a bounty target, and seeing what he does with that assumption.
I kind of underestimated my quarry. Really fatal mistake in my line of business. Should have been farther away.
Not fatal yet, at least.
Well, my droid's dead. My employers are eventually going to figure out that my target is not dead, which won't be good for me. So either way, I either have to get these people dead or get them out of here. Or both. And I kind of want some payback on that sniper for messing with my gun. Yeah, I'm not. You just don't do that. It's like you.
I don't think we lost him again.
Lost two.
Oh, I think you tried to disconnect there for a moment, or maybe I did. One of the two.
Well, so he basically reevaluates the situation, and he can't get out of the cell. He's going to have to wait for another opportunity of some kind. So we will go back to the guys back out front, or unless you have anything else you want to probe him for here.
Basically, I just want to make a charm check to see what kind of disposition I can get him to as far as how things are going and whatnot.
Okay. So he is a very grumpy bugger who doesn't seem amicable. He's more of a solo. So are you making your charm against his?
It's probably discipline, most likely.
Okay, he's only got just 3, and because he's wounded and pissed, I'm going to put a setback die on it.
Okay, I've got a talent that removes the setback dice. So.
Okay, so he might actually take some pity on you, being that you're in the same boat that he's in.
I'm going to use one of those force points. So, let's see here. Got success, so that means I at least getting to where he's opening up a little bit. The setback, or the threats I'd like to use to say that, like, while I'm going through my morning routine and talking with him, like, I trip or something and take some strain from falling and whatnot.
Okay.
The triumph.
I have something for that one for you.
Okay.
He throws his lock picks across to you.
Okay.
I want you to do this with these.
All right. Basically, he starts like walking me through the.
Yeah, he can't do it on his cell because he might think that maybe there's something wrong with his cell. But if you do this on your cell, so your roll before was 2 purple and a red to get out of the cell. You have 2 boost dice because it's your own cell, and a 3rd boost die from his tools.
Okay.
Unless you would think you have a. I mean, the guys are outside watching as well.
Well, could I use the triumph, like, as he's doing this, as I start fiddling with it and whatnot, to get him to let something slip about either who he was hired by or at least where the contract came from or something along those lines?
Sure. As you look, the drug dealers on this planet are brutal. They didn't want their that fat Rhodian giving up any information. They're not 100% sure. The only part that I know, I heard them mention some guy named Zorvin. Zorvin isn't one of their crew. Zorvin came in. He hired some goons for a job that he had to do, and he went out to a mine. But I have nothing to do with that guy. That guy wants nothing to do with. Like, I want nothing to do with this thing. You know, the sniper should at least respect it's just a job. I mean, it wasn't anything personal. I just had to shoot him. I mean, he's just another target. And, you know, hey, it is what it is. But right now, the task is getting us out of here. So, you know, he who lives and runs away can shoot another day.
Alright, and you said it was 1 red, 2 purple,
And you get 3 boost dice unless you have guys outside that are just going to hit the auto locks and let you out.
I'm going to fiddle with it first, one, just to see if I can do it. I mean,
Out of pure curiosity?
out of pure curiosity to see if, between his tools and instruction, whether or not I can actually break out of our cell. That would be good information to know in the future.
Well, basically, he is going to, and then he's going to, you lose a setback die as well. There's a lot of dice being rolled in this thing. Because you're not doing the roll. He is telling you what to do from his other cell. And he's not the greatest of teachers, and he's a little gruff.
Well, I managed to get 3 successes and a threat.
So you get a little stressed out from him bitching you out from...
Not that way!
No, this way! And click, you pop the lock.
And she will give, like, the schoolgirl cheerleader, like, bouncing excitement type thing when she manages to do it. And then she'll start out, and then she'll walk over to his panel, and she'll, like, look at the outside of the panel, basically, where security code could be entered. She's like, I don't know the code.
That's okay. That thing you just did, try it again on this door.
Okay.
From that side, it'll be a lot easier. I was trying to reach around and hit those buttons. That's why I was having the problem. I can't see them.
Gotcha.
I was trying to guess from your panel, but...
Well, I'll start messing with it, and I will... While I'm messing with it, I'm going to do a deception check, probing him for more information about just this planet in general, as far as like the way the structure is, as to who it was that one of the crew killed, and that sort of thing. Basically, just keeping him talking while I'm fiddling with it. So.
Okay, so do the deception check first.
What difficulty on that one?
And I'm going to give you a boost die because he's already amicable to you.
Okay. What difficulty?
I think I said it was just 3.
Okay, yeah. Alright. Failed, but got advantages, so I didn't
So
get
he's pushing you to... He said, look, we don't have the time to talk about that. I'll tell you everything on the way.
Okay,
For now,
so
we got to get out of here.
The advantages then, because it's a deception check for the advantages on this, and so I failed my stated goal of pushing him for more information, but I'm going to use the advantages to make it where I fail to pick the lock and cover up the fact that I did it intentionally.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yep.
Okay.
So we don't have to make the roll for you attempting to pick the lock.
Right. Like she's fiddling with it and she doesn't get it. Apparently, as they're conversing, she got distracted type thing.
This is no problem. We figured it out the one time. Give me back the pick. Get back in your cell and close the door. We don't want them to know that we can get out.
Okay. She will do so, and gets back in the cell and tosses the pick back over type thing, and closes the door. But of course, not re-hitting the locks, and then so you really just did you pick on how many crew members? How many of them were there?
Well, I didn't know there was as many as there was. I thought that there was at least 2. I thought I had the drop on them. I thought I had cover, and I thought I was far enough away that they couldn't get to me. I'd take one out if they came at me. The second one wouldn't. Take one out to start, take out the second one on its way. But man, they were fast. There was this chick with a whip.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and kind of tilts his head a little bit as he's looking. She was about your height.
Yeah, she's another Twilight. The hut did not get pissed at her. We worked together originally, though. She's a part of the crew. I'm stuck in the cell. It's wonderful.
Well, that's horrible. So, anyways, back to the guys outside. So you're watching all this, and about another half an hour I'd say at least a half an hour has gone by. Karlak, you know that you have about an hour and a half till the tram leaves, and then the next one is 4 hours after that. And Turzak, I'm not sure if you picked up on most of that conversation. You did hear all of it. There was the effect microphone. You weren't able to participate, but you heard all the data that went on in that cell.
Yeah, I would immediately, once I heard that, send a message to my informant and get her to go over the surveillance cameras on the trams to see if she could find Zorvin and which mine he may have gone to.
Okay. Well, she's going to work on that, but it'll take some time.
Now Josh is having a brain fart. Other than finding out about Zorvin and who hired him, which I seem to have done, was there other information we wanted to get from this guy?
You've now realized that it's two separate.
Right. But I mean,
You found a drug cell that he is not part of.
Okay. All right. Well, after I'm going to try small talking for a little while longer just to see if I can get him to open up more. And basically, she's trying to evaluate why he does this. If it's just a job for him, or if he's got some sort of code or anything like that. Just trying to get a read on his personality, if that makes sense.
Okay. Again, against 3.
Would that be charm, you think?
Yep. And he's a little annoyed that it's taking so long that he's not getting anywhere. And he doesn't like talking about himself, so he is going to alter your fate, shall we say. It's now 2 purple and a red.
Red. And is he still relatively amicable?
He's amicable to you to getting a boost.
Okay.
But that he's trying. He's not really in the mood to. He's more annoyed that he couldn't get out of the cell and that he instructed you on how to get out of the cell, but now he.
But he couldn't get out of his.
Yeah, he's a little perturbed.
All right. Well, I got 1 success and nothing extra, so. No, it's not a great deal of information from him about what he's doing, why he does it, but something.
He owes somebody something. He has to do the job.
All right.
Although he is good at it, he is an exceptional, or he thinks he's an exceptional tactical military guy, but he has resigned himself to, because of his blown-up state, that he owes somebody something, and he won't go into what he owes, but he has to get this done because this other person wants him to.
Gotcha. Well, with that bit of information, and Shaka kind of come to the point where she's like, I got the bits of information I set out to get, and this guy's not being very talkative anymore. She's going to step back out of her cell into the hallway, reach over, hit the panel, the hidden controls on her wrist under the bracelet, and take the form of the Mandalorian.
He kind of rolls over and looks, oh.
She says, thank you for being so forthcoming. And she'll send a signal to the crew to let them know that this part of the task is over.
And he reaches up his sleeve, pulls out the pick, puts his hand through the bars.
She'll take it from him and she says, so you have a choice here. I'm not going to tell you which choice you have to make, because you were kind enough to help a fellow prisoner, even though it was self-serving. You can forget the debt that you owe, and we can help you get off this planet, and you can help us with our missions. Or I can let the transition in the cell. I'll give you a few minutes to think it over as she turns to go out to the mess deck area.
He doesn't look happy with
So
you.
I've got a quick question. I've got a quick question. The pick that he pulled out, was it the same one that we planted on him?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
It was more like a long wire that he could manipulate. It was up the seam of his shirt or something.
It's not a fancy one. It's a utility.
It's a utility thing that he could use it to reach out and grab something if he needed to. He could pick a lock with it. It was an extra wire. It was a malleable wire up his sleeve. It wasn't a wire. It's like a plastic thing that might not have been found on a metal detector. So, and he looks pretty pissed. I mean, you can't see his face through it, but the eyes, the glowing eyes, are pulsating as you walk away.
She'll give him a few minutes to get over the perceived insult to his pride and think about his life choices for a few minutes while she goes to check with the crew.
As she walks out the door, Terzak is just like,
She says, that didn't go as smoothly as I normally do, but whatever.
Either way, we have information now.
Hopefully enough information for you to find who you're looking for. Or at least get you closer.
The prey fell for your trap. You are a good hunter indeed. You earn my respect today. Shaka.
She smiles at that. Not necessarily because that was the goal, but I mean, hey, earning the respect of a Trandoshan as opposed to earning his ire is always a good thing. Very pragmatic in how she views some of these situations.
So, may I finish what I started?
Not yet. Give him a couple of minutes. I mean, if he had not underestimated the numbers that we had there, he could have actually killed some of us, so you never know when you need a friend in the galaxy.
As you wish.
so do I get any information coming in from my informant, or is that going to take longer?
It's going to take a while. She's going to have to work her contacts and then get back to you. It will potentially be part of the Tide of Change, or maybe the next episode, to flush him out a little more.
All right.
So I guess unless anyone has something to do, we can just wait to see what he says after a few minutes, and then proceed from there.
Other than the working on the video for the scope and the droid hard drive.
Yep. You can make the computer roll on this the scope site, but you do realize that tampering with it and failing will result, from what Terzak has told you, that he figured out, failing and badly will result in it formatting itself. And you do have setbacks because of the ancient qualities of it and not having the right tools and cable.
Yeah. Like, I'm not that good with computers. I'm decent. I'm not that good.
If you had the tools or the password, it would make it go a lot farther. But the cable is an ancient cable that you don't have lying around the ship, necessarily.
Well,
Since I'm going to skip working on the scope, since I don't want to like format it or break it, I just want to use the ship to find like a local droid vendor repair shop, and that way I can get the hard drive worked on and ask a couple questions.
There's a couple on the main strip, and they would be open anytime.
Okay.
Once a couple minutes have gone by, if no one else has anything they want to get done right then, I will go back in and find out what his decision is.
He's sitting on the edge of the bunk in the cell. You know, hands on his knees. You know, it's like he is more resigned that this is. I go from out of the frying pan into the fire, but no. And he looks up, it's like, well, it's an easy choice. So what are the terms?
The terms are that you work with me now. You're part of the crew. That means you'll get a cut of whatever tasks we take on. You'll do your best to help us out using any resources and contacts you have. And we will do our best to protect you from your past problems.
Are these open for negotiation?
Certainly. Everything's open for negotiation.
I'd like my gear. And I'd like your, that whatever snipe, that, your junior sniper over there, to make sure that I get my stuff back untouched. And
well, they've been trying to evaluate your stuff, so untouched is not open for negotiation at this point because it's been touched. But
please tell me they haven't put a code.
I don't think
You
so.
need to. Oh, I will do you one favor to start these negotiations right now. Do you have comm links to them?
They're watching.
He looks from where, and he's looking for the camera.
Points at one of the cameras.
He looks up at the camera. Don't put the code in on the camera. It's a self-destruct.
Nice.
I'm not sure what you said there.
It's a self-destruct.
That was
It's gonna go
funny.
boom.
Our ship has a Siri, apparently.
Apparently, my Siri just went off.
Siri, tell those idiots that are messing with my gear that they put the. He said, "Hey, they're your guys. I don't want to be responsible for the damage to your ship wherever they are. Hopefully they're not near engineering."
Well, that's definitely a plus for him.
All right. With that information, I'm going to go over and enter the code on his cell. So we can continue negotiations over a more respectable meal.
And as the door opens, he hands you the binders.
She takes them and puts them on her belt.
Because he also, like, he popped his arm off and just pulled the binder off. And,
She's like, that is a really neat trick, by the way. I never wanted cybernetics until I
know.
saw that. I still don't want them, but at least I now would know that there's more use to them than just...
Metagaming aside, I have an actual friend that has an amputation, and that's the kind of stuff he can actually really do. Because he can pop his own prosthetic part off, do things that we can't do, and that's the way it works. But anyways, so sorry, back into. So he says, "Do I get to have a real meal other than this slop too?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll lead him back out to the mess hall area, and basically Shaka's going to start making real breakfast as she motions to a seat. So, what do we call you?
The name is Orlon the Last.
You weren't joking.
The last.
Yes, it's a pun. It was one of those things that it was very fortunate that I went the route that I did.
Yeah. I mean, at least you weren't like a mortician, because that would have been really ironic.
Yes. This is, he's standing at the front of the table with all you guys, and they look. I have no idea why you people are on this planet doing whatever you're doing. All that I know is that I was sent out here to take any points at Grimm, any points at Turzak, that you two were interacting with Gyoga, the Rhodian, in the alley. And my boss didn't like the fact that he was talking to you, so he eliminated him, and then he was going to eliminate you two. There are elements around here which I'm sure you can understand that if you cross them, they don't want to play, they're just going to take you out. And now that I have failed, when they get word of that, I'll be on that list too. And then he looks over and he sees the parts for his droid, and he's like, oh, Boxy.
Yeah,
Oh.
sorry about that.
Yeah, well... And he looks over at Karlak and says, yeah, I was there to witness. And he hisses through his rebreather mask. And you are lucky my gun misfired.
So, by the way, before he came out, what I'm going to have done to his gun, as like a precaution in case he's totally lying to us, is I've removed the energy cartridge, the energy cell. So there is no energy cell in it, and I kind of just like walk over and like slap him on the shoulder and hand him his gun back. Kind of like, I do it like casually, like, okay, here you go. And then I kind of like walk away. So if he's gonna do something, he's gonna like do it now with our backs to him.
He has his one hand on the rifle when you hand it to him, and as you go to turn around and walk away, he taps you on the shoulder.
I just kind of look over my shoulder at him.
The strap and the laser sight.
I put the sight back on, so I just take off the strap
Okay.
and toss it to him.
And he says, by the way, the gun's a little light.
And I turn and look at him,
And he holds his hand out.
Well, you have to take precautions, don't you?
and I hold out the energy cell to him.
I already lost taking on 4 of you in one shot. I'm beat up, unarmed, and I have now just given my word. And he puts the magazine in his pocket and starts reattaching his gun and just sits down at the table. So, honestly, I don't know if I'm going to be much use to you right away. I'm probably going to need some time to recover,
She nods to that.
but I can,
You're familiar with this planet, though, which is information that we can use.
what do you need to know?
Have you
So-
seen any Empire while you've been here?
Couple, but they generally don't play with this place. It's a little out of the way for them. We're only a Durasteel ore refining planet. There's several of them out there that's not a high priority target for them.
Hmm.
Although there's a computer store down at the end. I believe they have an agent. I can't confirm that or not, but it's again.
One of those things that's an agent for someone. Believed in.
Well, I would be willing to bet he's reporting to the Empire. Like he just sends them reports like, "Hey, there's nothing going on. We're good."
That's exactly what I need.
But I don't know that for a fact.
Shaka will motion to the rest of the crew in general while looking at him. We all have pasts. That doesn't mean we can't have amicable relationships that are profitable for each of us in the future.
And he looks at his shoulder, and then he looks over at Turzak. And he's, uh-huh.
I did what I had to.
And he nods. Next time, other shoulder. I'd prefer you didn't, though, because that's my good one. It's one of the original parts I got left.
Smiling.
It's just one of
Terzak's smiling beneath his helmet like he likes this guy.
And he looks over at Karlak, and he notices your braces, and he says, you know, hey, at least you still had that option. And he's just... So, when I was doing research on you guys, I heard you're looking for something. Something big. Is that got any truth to it?
Well, Shaka looks to the various crew members. I think most of the crew is looking for something. Some of them know what that is, and she looks to Karlak. Have you figured out where that creature is that you're looking for?
I've got some leads, Shaka.
Some leads, huh? And he looks around and says, well, you know, I had a choice between taking out you guys and going after a different Rhodian. It was kind of funny. I had to shoot a fat guy or a thin guy. It's a thin guy with a yellow coat and a silver blaster. His name's Meebo. And You know, and in retrospect, I don't know if I picked the right target.
Well,
And
time will tell.
that perked your interest.
Who's Meebo tied to?
To you.
No, to
me.
Graham. To
I
Graham.
was about to say to Grim.
Oh,
It's
to
like
Grim. Oh.
Shaka doesn't know who she's looking for.
No. Shaka's trying to assemble a team to go after the people that took out her husband. And she's now picked up an extra.
She doesn't know how many of them are going to get killed on their individual missions right now.
Well, that's why you have a deck of cards.
Now, these mines that the big guy we're after is hiding out, is that in the same area that the Gamma sector?
That there is an abandoned mine in the Gamma sector, yes.
So the same trans systems that we would have to use to go there from my research.
There was an
would be-
abandoned rail that went to that mine. Basically, the current line heads off to a new mine that's a functional one. They disconnected a route, and from your Google satellite view, if you followed the old trail, even though that is kind of overgrown, it wouldn't be hard to get you to that mine. Might be a little longer, but it would definitely be safer, and you wouldn't get lost.
My business is in the wilderness, and I will be leaving soon.
I think most of us have business in the wilderness now.
Is this one well enough to travel with? Surely you won't leave him on your ship.
Couldn't we just fly there, technically?
And he pipes up, no, I wouldn't recommend it. The only way you could fly there would be staying right on the tram line, and you don't want to hit a train head on. There's lightning storms that happen randomly, and they arc horizontally across the skyline between the mountains. And they fire out enough energy that it would disable a ship, and they seem to be attracted to the ship hulls.
Wonderful.
Although the tram is on its route that it takes, and it has energy deflector poles.
If this one can't walk,
And Karlak looks over at the box.
we still have the box.
The crate that we brought him here when he was unconscious.
Yeah, thanks. No.
Um,
Uh,
I'll look to Needles. Needles, how long will it take for you to get him to full functionality?
well, I don't have a back to tank, but probably tomorrow. He won't be 100%, but I can get him well back to functional by tomorrow.
I'll look to Karlak. Can your hunt wait till tomorrow for us?
It can wait. I've been here for many weeks already.
And the ship is way warmer than outside.
You are my way off this blasted planet, so I will stay true and carry through with you to the end, Shaka.
She gives this look like, I'm not sure if I like that connotation, but whatever. She nods to that. Does anyone else have business that they need to accomplish today?
I wouldn't mind talking to that spy, but it can wait, maybe.
All right then. Well, let's.
Well, the spy was in the town, wasn't they?
Yeah, he's in town.
He's on the main strip.
Yeah. I'm just worried. I'm not sure if we want to pull that sort of heat on us just yet.
Okay, and
Yeah,
does
you're
anyone
thinking
need to
that
take
the
a 2-minute
conversation
break
is-
here? We've been going for a couple hours. Does anyone want to have a 2-minute break?
I could do a quick 2-minute break if we need to.
Okay. I'm going to say, if you guys are cool with that, we're going to pause for our viewers that are watching elsewhere. We're going to take just a couple-minute break, and we will be right back.
Use that. So.
Hey, you said that name that piqued my interest was Meepo?
Meebo. That's
Meepo.
your quarry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was looking because I know you mentioned that. I was like, that sounds familiar. I was trying to find the.
The deadbeat Rhodian gunslinger.
Yeah, I was trying to find like where you mentioned that for me. I completely forgot. I felt like such a dumbass.
That was your unfinished business for coming to this planet.
Yeah, because I was still thinking that I was looking for that droid. And is he wanted? Is he wanted dead or alive, or just dead?
Dead.
Dead, dead.
Well, he owes money, so he is considered for dead. He's been being made example of.
Got it. Yeah, I remember now. I can't believe I forgot that conversation.
He extended his credit in a gambling thing, and didn't pay back his debts. So the people that he owed money to want him dead. Normally, you don't get your money back that way, so there might be an emotional attachment that you're unaware of, but they've said dead.
Got it. Got it.
And I guess when Shaka gets back, one thing that Mr. DeLast will be reminding you is that, as far as he knows, the last anybody saw of him was being stuffed in a box. If he goes back out and starts walking around, he is quite visible. Like he couldn't blend in. He would need some sort of cloak to move around in the city. But as far as anybody knows, he's dead right now. At least on this planet.
But he's a very prominent figure of this area, though, basically.
He's the
Do
legend.
people know him pretty well?
Some would. He's the underworld would. He's an enforcer for the gang. So the whole gang would know who he is.
But you said he doesn't know, like, because he didn't take the job for him, so he didn't know anything about his current whereabouts, other than that he's dead.
He knows that he went to the mines.
The mines, okay.
He said, yeah, the easier one was taking care of you guys here. The Meebo found some sort of old maps for these mines, and supposedly that these mines have some sort of, there's a vein of valuable ore, and he bought a bunch of mining gear, and he went to these mines to try to get enough money to pay back his debt. And he figured, well, that's going to take some time. Maybe I can double dip. Take out this crew people, shoot them up, get paid. Then I'll go out to the mines, or get the guy on the way back from the mines, kill him off, take the ore too, make a triple payment.
Got it. Got it.
If I'm going to be a sniper and a bad guy, I'm going to be an effective one. And he doesn't like the idea of going out to those mines because of the Kargon and the little chompers that are running around out in the forest or in the wilderness. The things that Karlak brought into town that he managed to kill rather than the Kargon when he first made his trade for that money at the very beginning.
Got it. Got it.
Does anybody have any other questions while we're waiting on Josh to come back?
I have one question. This is like directed to Grim. Would Grim have spoken any bit at all about his past to Terzak, seeing as they've been kind of working together, or would that be something he's kind of kept to himself? for Grim?
I'm sorry, say again?
Would Grim have talked about his past at all? Like, would Terzak be aware of like his, like who he was before all this, since they've been working together, or is that something that he keeps to himself, kind of like bounty hunters do?
I don't think so. Mainly, I mean, especially because of the whole, Alderaan being exploded. I don't think he'd talk about that just yet. Because I know one of the things that he's most afraid of now is, we're all bounty hunters, and there's definitely a bounty on Force users. So now he's like still like the whole job is the whole point of Grimm, or the persona of Grimm, is to keep, like create a new life and kind of separate himself from the old one.
All right, cool.
And Karlak, one thing with this planet, it is cold because of the dampness with the fog and the mist. And being the warm-blooded guy that you are, you don't like this planet for a couple of reasons. But the climate is not your favorite. It doesn't hurt you, but you are not comfortable with it.
Oh yes, I'm ready to get off of this blasted place. I've been here too long already.
Yep. Do we want to wait for Josh, or do you want to start? He should be back soon.
Did he give you any kind of like ETA as to when, or?
No, we just did the little break thing, and then he's not
Okay.
far, I'm sure. I mean, his screen is still on, so.
Well, if nothing hugely important is going to happen, I feel like we could go and be like, okay, this is what happened. Like, we're on the tram right now or something.
Well, if that's where you're headed. Remember, the tram will not be stopping officially where you need it to stop, and it's a high-speed tram that takes you from here. It's basically an express tram. You get on here, it takes you to the mine. It takes all the workers that are going to the mine for the day, or for that shift.
Mm.
Then in 4 hours, another one leaves for a second shift that would be going in.
Yeah, I've been here for a couple weeks, several weeks on this planet. I imagine
You're
I
familiar
would
with the tram system.
So does it have a conductor, some kind of
It
engineer?
has, at the front train is the corporation people, and they make the train go.
All
And
right.
they basically, they don't really interact much with people. They just, high speed, take it and go. Now, their job is to take all the workers from here to there. When they come back into town, they slow down, they disengage the ore cars for the plant.
It's not automated, though, is what I was getting at.
No, it is not an automated system.
Okay.
You've never used it, but you've seen it in use. You've heard people talk about it. It's a bumpy, rickety thing that high speed zips you out to where you got to go.
And we got definitive details on where this closed mine is.
Yeah, it was about 70%. There's a V junction, or like a Y junction kind of thing. It used to go to that mine. They've declared years ago, they just said, okay, that mine isn't producing enough, for closing it down, and they rerouted to another area and pulled the track out, recycled the track out to that way. But the support structures that were built in the ground, the blast marks from the cut, basically you would know the path. You couldn't miss the path because it's been humanoid altered, cut from the terrain to make a high-speed train zip through. There's also, parts of the posts are still there. It would take a very, very unlucky navigation survival type roll of some horrible, unfortunate circumstances for you to get lost off of that. You do realize that from the tram, it will take you a couple of hours to walk to go from the tram because of the terrain to the mine, and then it would take you a couple of hours back. So your estimate that even if you showed up, did your business, and left, you're going to be out of contact or like civilization for at least a day. You would probably anticipate that it might take you longer, but if you got off the tram, walked for 4 hours, did what you had to do, turn around and walk back, you would still be out for several hours. And then you're going to have to find a way to get the train to stop to pick you back up on the way back, if it will, because it's going to be high speed. They might not even notice you by the time they go right past you.
Worst case scenario, since if we can't get it to stop or if we can't get off, it'd be a shorter trek from the open mine to the closed mine.
Yes, but you'd be going through some dangerous terrain and it would take some work.
I'm back.
Okay, so the first part's first is you guys have to decide whether, as I was mentioning to the other crew while Josh was away, this sniper is the enforcer for the drug cartel of this place. He is recognizable, and the last time anybody saw him, if they were watching on security cameras or visually, he was being stuffed in a box away.
Right.
If all of a sudden he is walking through the town again, there might be repercussions. Because he is very visibly, he could not walk into a bar and hide away easily. Maybe under some sort of large Jedi-type hiding cloak. But
Right.
not with mechanical body parts and a rebreather tank and...
Right.
As I said, we have the box.
He looks at you, not the box. No thank you.
Well, first we got to figure out where we're going. Are we going to the abandoned mine? Are we...
Yeah, I think that's pretty much our destination.
Turzak needs his business taken care of. He has my axe.
Let's see here then. What ideas do I have?
And also with the other one, are you giving him back 100% of his gear, or are you withholding anything? There was that pistol with the large caliber rounds, his ceramic blade, the stem pack, the rifle, the extra reload, his armor, that kind of stuff.
If Shaka's decided to trust him, then yeah, I give it all back to him.
Yeah, I mean, let's go with it.
He gave his word as a, I mean,
It might bite us, but hey, that just makes an interesting story if it does.
he did warn us about the site having an explosive in it. That's always a plus in my book.
Yeah. I don't have a good idea as to how to get where we're going, though.
I mean, I don't think we could jump off the tram, or I mean,
It's a high-speed tram. It would be very dangerous.
yeah, that'd kill us.
Who operates the tram?
It's operated by individuals, people. It's not automated, it's not droids. I imagine
I would have no problem in strong-arming a operator to get them to stop the train, Shaka.
We need a ride back, and we don't want to the law on our hands. Maybe we can bribe our way.
That's what I was thinking.
Bribes! Bribes! Bribes!
I start spitting as I say that.
Does anybody else get the idea that Karlak is related to Gollum?
Yeah.
I've thought about it a couple times.
So he's quite animated when you say you're going to pay him off or pay off these people. When it can be done with force.
Okay.
If we bribe, we might have a way back to society instead of having to trek.
You're
I'm on board with
wise,
that
young
idea.
one.
Are you wearing your mask all the time now? Because I was calling you young one before when you had your fresh-faced human appearance going.
I usually only wear the mask. I haven't switched it tonight, but I usually only wear the mask whenever we're doing something illegal or if it's combat time.
Right on. So you're just showing your human appearance during
Yeah.
this time. Cool. So I keep calling you young one. Then.
You're wise, young one.
All right. You said the trams run about every 4 or 6 hours, something like that.
For every 4 on the hour.
Is there one that's happening soon?
There'd be one leaving in about a half an hour now, and then the next one wouldn't be until noon.
Do we have the names of the guys that operated and whatnot?
Orlas he knows them.
Okay.
Could my informant hack the system and make the tram stop?
It's manually operated.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, there's like no computer systems on board or anything that could be like malfunction or
It is
something.
a manual lever system. No.
Okay, so it's like
with the
New
storms,
York
they're
City
evading
subway
manually.
type thing.
Yep. There's a cab up at the front. There's a guy pressing a lever, and basically his job is close the doors, accelerate, and then go, and then decelerate and stop.
What if we bribe them into faking a mechanical mistake? They have to stop just long enough for us to get off, and then we can leave the last on there. That way, whenever the tram comes back, he'll be our point to, make the tram guy slow down again so we can jump back on and make it back to civilization.
Does this electrical storms disrupt communications while you're out and about?
It can randomly.
Not-
These are random strikes. It's not safe to fly because they don't know how and when these strikes are going to happen. But when they do happen, they will cause havoc.
So here's what I'm going to propose then, guys, is that there's a 4-hour window. We could just pay someone to run us whenever the tram isn't needed by the colony to the abandoned mine.
That's also a good point.
And get their comm link, and then comm them whenever we're ready for pickup, and they can come get us in the next interval. I mean, it's every 4 hours. Worst case scenario, we have to wait 3 hours till they can come get us again or something. So the question is, how much do these tram operators make so that we know what offer is enough to be irrefusable for them?
Well, the last pops up and says, if I have one of you guys go back to my cabin, you could probably get some of the red vials and use that to bribe them.
The red vials?
Yeah. Remember who I worked for?
No. Is it death sticks type stuff?
Powdered.
Oh, fun.
There's a hollow leg on my bed. There's 3 of them in it.
I can go grab it real quick, pull off the mask. They shouldn't be looking for me.
Might work. And then he takes out of the butt out of his rifle, which Terzak didn't notice. He pops out a key when he was taking apart the gun. The butt was a survival butt as well. He pops out a key, says, "You'll need this," and he gives you the address.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Barring any unforeseen events, should be a quick trip.
Okay. but you won't be able to make if you go. You would have to go separately to make it to the train while the rest of the group went to the train, or you'll have to catch the next train, or hire a separate train.
Huh?
You said you're possibly going to hire. There's a current train going to leave in less than a half an hour. You
Oh.
would not have enough time to make it to that place, search the place, get there, get back to you, and then get from all of you to the train.
Gotcha.
You would have to go to the apartment and meet you at the train.
Yeah, we
Or-
can do that.
Okay.
You'd have to hoof it though, and you'd have to like run basically.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Well, who's fast? We
Yeah.
could break into 2 teams. Someone that's fast can go with me, and then you other 3 can meet us at the train.
I've got pretty high agility.
How are we going to get this guy through town without being noticed?
He looks at the box.
The box.
He's shaking his head no, but realizing he might have to squeeze back in.
I've got that cloak I told you about that I always use to like cover my armor and everything, so I don't stand out. He could wear that potentially.
He
That would
said,
work too. He doesn't have his hat anymore because that got shot up.
Right.
So I guess I could like remove this large obscuring cloak and like offer it to him, but give him like a nod.
I want this back, though.
You'll get it back in the same condition that I got my stuff back in. How's that? And he starts looking at it going,
I kinda just-
how can I modify this?
Shooting you started to sound like a very good idea. I usually don't do it for fun, but I will make an exception.
And I turn towards Grim, like I'm ready to go type thing.
Alright, so Grim and Turzak are going to get the bribing materials, and the rest of us are heading towards the tram to where I can start talking with the operator.
Okay, so I will do the recovery team first. You guys head out and do your thing. You make the directions. You get to what you perceive would be his apartment. The other 3 of you are making your way to the tram to begin negotiations.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll do the recovery team first and then the negotiation team second. Recovery team, you make it to the apartment.
As we're walking up to it, I want to look at Turzak, be like, be on the lookout. They could already be hunting him, and if they see us going in.
Okay. Well then, in that case, before we go down the street, I want to kind of go down a side alley on the very end, and I want to peek around the corner with my rifle, scanning rooftops to see if I see anyone watching the door.
Okay, you can make a perception check against 2 and 2 black.
So 2 black, 2 purple, then I've got... And boom. Oh jeez, okay. Here we go. Oh. Oh. Alright.
Don't see anything.
So with the advantage, I want to say that I don't get noticed by looking around the corner.
Okay?
And then with the other one,
You fail.
Okay.
You are positive that with multiple failures that there is nobody watching.
Dang.
On the rooftops.
Okay. I would still approach stealthily.
Well, I wouldn't doubt that, but there's nobody watching from... Hold on, I'll do it this way. There's nobody watching from the rooftops.
Got it. Okay.
There's nobody watching from the rooftops.
Da, 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 da.
I still suggest that we take the back door.
Okay? Well,
So I'll stealth.
okay, you make it quite easily through the alleys. People are getting ready to go to work. Hustle and bustle leading away. And you make it to the apartment. You go in through the back door. You make it up to his room. It's 3 floors up. Excuse me.
We're gonna get shot.
Sorry, guys. I was not 100% from being sick from before. You make it in through the hallway.
No, it's all right. We're not being watched.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep. And you get to the room, and you get to the door. You go to put the key in, and you have to both of you make a perception check against one purple. And I'm even going to give you a boost die because it should be pretty simple.
Okay.
I believe. Oh!
Well, you both notice that the door has been kicked in and put back to closed. And with your bonus, I'm going to give you for two of your advantages. You see the reflection on the glossy floor of a person behind the door. Like you know there's a person behind the door. But you still have a triumph and an extra success or an extra advantage left.
With the triumph, I'm gonna say that his hand is on the door handle.
Okay. Uh-oh.
I reach out and grab it and use my shock gloves.
Okay. You make a roll to hit. I'm gonna say it's only against one because he is holding the door, and I'm gonna, because of your triumph, I'm gonna give you a boost die because it's a metal door handle.
And I'm going before him, so I get another boost die.
Sounds great.
And you know what? For kicks and giggles, I'm gonna use a destiny point and make it 2 yellows. I'm gonna upgrade one.
Oh boy.
I want to drop this guy right away. Okay, let's see what else. Have anything else? Nope, that's it. All right, here we go.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Okay, so
I just I reach forward, I grab the handle and say,
I see you.
and I'm gonna turn on the shock glove.
And how much damage does it do?
So it is just pure stun, so it is going to do, let me see, +5. So that'll be 6 stun damage, and then I'm going to use the 2 boosts to give a boost dice to Grim, to give both boost dice over to the next person to go. So he's kind of like surprised at the door.
So it's
His hand is like stuck on the door. Yeah.
behind the door, and the door opens, maybe 15 degrees while he's shaking, hanging on the door. Grim? This is a surprise round, by the way, before we would roll of initiative.
Okay. Is Terzak blocking the door to where I can't get to this guy, or?
You give it a little push, step in the room, step around the door, or even smash the door into him.
Yeah, that was the next plan. Was I'm gonna slam the door into him as hard as I can.
Okay, so I guess you'd be making a melee with an improvised weapon type roll.
Sounds right to me.
And you got the 2 boost dice. He is quite stunned, which will result in a 3rd boost dice.
Okay. Wow.
Oh,
So
You forgot the 2 purple dice for a melee attack.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
roll those separately. Clear your dice. Roll them separately. We can manually adjust this.
Okay.
All right. So you lose one. So you have a net 1 advantage, and a net 4 successes. So, would you like to how much damage would you do with smashing the door into him?
Well, I was hoping at least what I normally do with a punch, which is around 6.
What's your brawn?
4, but I have brass knuckles that are jury rigged for +1.
Okay.
I think an improvised weapon of that size is probably +1 or 2 anyway. So
I'm going to give you a 2 for the door.
Okay.
So it's the same damage.
Yeah. Just smash it into his face.
So it'd be 9 damage coming his way before soak.
Okay, are you attempting to kill him, or are you attempting to knock him out?
Just knock him out.
I'm going to say with the damage and that, he smashes into the wall, the door knocks him completely out. You smash the door, he doesn't move. You step in the room and you look behind it, and you realize, oh, I really hit that hard. There was one of those like coat hooks on the back of the door,
Oh,
and he is impaled on the door. And as the door closes, he kind of
it's still hanging.
it's stuck right through his face, and he is not. The body is twitching and blood is dripping all over the floor. And you were hoping just to knock him out, but
My reaction is to look at Terzak like,
I reach out and pat the dead body on the shoulder,
Just hang in there, brother.
and I walk
It's
back into
twitching.
the room.
okay.
So what is this corpse hanging on the wall?
It looks like a gruff and tumble thug from the neighborhood, and he was going to garrote. He had like a wire ready in his hands that he was going to loop around somebody when they came home.
Check his pockets in case he tried to pocket the red powder.
He has a comm link in his pocket, and he has, since I happen to have pre-made loot cards, he has some credits, and he's got a holographic photo thing of his family and his kids, and he's got a cred stick, but he does not have vials.
Okay. Sucks for him.
Well,
Just
crap.
yeah, just search the room for the red vials. We're kind of
Okay,
on a deadline.
Yep, you need to make, if one's making the perception roll, the other one can get a boost die. If you're both rolling, it is against, since you know where to look, it's against, he didn't tell you which leg, he just said it was in a bad leg, but for speed, for the time factor, it's 2 purple.
Okay. Terzak, if you want to go ahead and roll that, I'll just assist you because.
All right. So 2 purple.
Yep, make sure you put you find it no problem. And the leg, there's hollow leg in the bed because there are 3 red vials, or vials with red powder.
Okay.
And with your advantage, I'm going to throw one at you. You do see assorted effects that wouldn't be very hard to pick up, like a computer cable, some tools for repairing his gun, a spare change of clothes, and his duffel bag.
Yeah, just shove it in the bag.
Yeah.
We'll just take his bag with him.
Okay, so you loot his stuff.
Oh, and don't forget the creds and the cred stick on the body.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we grab all the stuff real quick, and I'm gonna look out the window to see if this guy was affiliated real quick with anyone who might be waiting in the street for us.
And you can make another perception check across the street.
Crap.
And since you failed so badly last time, you have a setback die that you cannot remove through other means.
So
Because
what's the
you're
difficulty? 2 purple?
2 purples and a black because you epically failed last time.
Oh man.
Normally-
Okay.
Let's-
Oh!
Well, you pick up your gun and you're panning across, and there's a guy across the roof in a building on the upper floor with a pair of binoculars looking at you, and he looks at you. Oh shit!
I shoot him with a stunning shot.
Okay,
Like he's not telling anyone about what happened here.
medium range, and he
Yeah.
has
So-
cover because of stuff, and if you're shooting through your own window, it'll be a second black die. You're
Okay,
on
so
stun
2
setting.
black
so you're-
dice and
Oh, what is the range of your weapon on stun setting? Does it change?
No.
it doesn't.
It's
I don't
whatever
know. It
range
doesn't say
it
that.
is.
Some of the pistols in the book had a substantially lower range, and just making sure. Okay, so
Okay, so that should be. So that difficulty 2.
difficulty 2 and 2 blacks. Sorry,
and then 2
threes.
step back.
He's
Okay.
he's at medium range. Is that 3?
Yeah. Oh,
Medium range
I
is
don't
3.
No, it's medium range is 2
two?
purple.
2. And then you have 2 blacks, one for his
Okay.
cover and one for your obstructing window.
All right, here we go. Okay. So I do hit him,
Okay?
and that would be.
Is that including your thing for acting before he does?
Yeah, I included the boost dice.
Okay.
So that would be okay. 9 damage total, and then with the advantage. Hmm, I don't know. Any suggestions?
Are you down any strain?
I'll just pass a boost dice along to Grim or anything. Oh, we'll remove strain. We'll do that. All right.
Okay. So, Grim, you have across the street in the building across the way there is a observer that's just been shot through the windows.
He didn't by chance fall out, did he?
No.
Okay, then.
He is still within sight and attacking range because he did not drop and he has not acted yet.
But he's on a higher floor.
No, equal floor, 3rd.
Oh, he's on equal floor. Okay. I don't know. There's no way I can get over there. I guess. How much?
He doesn't have any range. You don't have any ranged weapons, do you?
No, I'm melee.
Do you know at least how to fire one?
Well, yeah, I know the basics.
I forgot to aim with my maneuver, so can I say with my maneuver I hand him a blaster pistol?
You can pop off the clasp on your belt. He could
Okay,
draw
I
it
pop
as
over
his
the
own
clasp on
maneuver.
my belt.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll just grab it and try to fire. I mean, it's not gonna do too much, or it's not gonna be too good, but
Okay.
it's 2.
2, but he's got the window is gone now since on your side has been shot through, so he has cover on his side, so it's 2 with a black.
2 with a black. Okay.
And there is destiny points available too.
How do yeah, I'll go ahead and burn one of those, so I can have a better chance. No.
Okay. And he is going to. I'm going to say it takes you 1 strain to try to pull this out. From shooting
Okay.
through the glass, some of the glass sprays back at you, and you take a point of strain.
Okay.
Okay, so that was again a surprise-ish round because he was not expecting to get shot from binocular distance. So this is a vigilance roll now because I think it's a cool for you guys, wouldn't it be? Because you know it's coming, and vigilance for him.
Sure.
Well, either way, he's got
I
2s.
mean,
It doesn't matter. He has 2s, so it doesn't matter which 2 he rolls.
vigilance is better for me.
Yeah, me too. I don't know which is which, but
Sure. Not good enough. It's kind of on that borderline. Okay, so one of you is going before him, and one of you is not.
Okay, so that's me who's going before him then.
Okay?
So I'll just level my aim again and pop another shot at him, and I'll use a maneuver to take aim, and then take 2 strain to take a secondary aim. So 2 more
Okay.
boost dice on top of that.
So
And technically I'm still going before him, so I get another boost.
Yep. And he
Awesome.
only has 1, so it's 2 purple and a black against all of your numbers.
Okay, and I'm going to stun him again. I'm trying to stun him.
And how would you like to dispatch this poor sod who hasn't even had a chance to grab his gun?
So like I almost like see like his eyes widen. I hit him once and he drops the binoculars and he kind of like looks up like as his arm goes numb, and then he like turns and looks at me and I just kind of smile and I give him like a little salute and then I reach down to pull the trigger again and it hits him right in the forehead and drops him backwards onto his back, stunning him completely, knocking him out.
And he falls to the bed, and there is no more from the the spotter across the way. Okay, so you have one last task to do. You have to make it from here to the train in time. And what sort of bid or type roll would you have to try to make it to the train? Whether you will make it, it's whether how much of the penalty the negotiation roll is to wait for you if you fail. So, what would you...
I would want to use athletics to just try and book it as fast as possible.
Okay. And how much difference is between your two?
I've got a yellow and 3 green.
So you're at 4 dice.
Yeah.
And Turzak, what do you have?
My athletics is definitely not my strong suit. All I've got is I've got 2 green for that.
2 green. Okay, so the roll, because yours is so much higher, you have some dead weight to drag. You will provide 2 boost dice against to Turzak.
Okay.
You're not the one that's slowing this down, but to make it through the hustle and bustle, it's against it's against 3 purples.
Okay.
And just because I want to screw with you a little bit, it is now 2 purples and a red, and the force is acting against you because of all the commuters trying to get to work, and the people being groggy and not have got their coffee yet first thing in the morning, and these guys are gruff and tumble, and you're bumping through them. So,
Because actually, would my power enhance where I can actually use the force to boost
Sure.
athletics? Would that?
you can boost one of his.
All right.
So you can throw your force die, and that would, on a white roll, you could add a success or or an advantage, and you can use the dark side of the force right now to do the same.
I'm not going to use the dark side right now.
Okay.
Okay. And so I'm left to fight against the wave of people. All right. So
Well, you're trying to keep up
up.
while he's trying to pull you through the
roll.
crowd.
I believe dice gods.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Anyway, so now we know that what the results of that might be. You can heal a strain back.
I'm gonna get as I see myself getting like further and further behind him. I'm just gonna get fed up with the whole situation, and I put my rifle in the air and I shoot it once
Okay.
to get everyone
So-
to move out of the way.
Negotiation team. You are at the trains, and you have made... Oh, I got a graphic for this, so I'm going to use it quickly. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. You're at the trains. And you... Did that come up, or is it...
You got a perfectly good picture of a train there.
Good. So you're at the trains, and you are dealing with a human named Horat at the caboose with some of his crew, and he's waiting for people to get on board, and he's thoroughly bored with his wonderful job of being the public commuter person that he is, pressing a button all day.
Right. So I'm totally standing behind Shaka, also standing behind the new member of our group. Not fully trusting him yet, so I'm kind of vigilant and keeping an eye on him to make sure he doesn't make a run for it or do anything shady here, being that this is
He's
the real
got the
first
cloak
time.
pulled around him, and he's got the hood pulled down. So
Right.
he's
So
trying not to attract attention.
I'm also doing the same, being that I got a big weapon strapped to my back. So I'm trying to be discreet and let Shaka
Shaka
do what
would
he's talking.
have had you guys like stop like at the pillar of the train
Right.
yard. He goes over to talk to the conductor and whatnot.
So you're going by yourself?
Yeah, I mean they're a stone throw away basically, but close enough that they can help if need be, but that they're not hovering behind me while I'm trying to make a fun conversation with this guy.
So he's not going to. So they're not going to be setback dice for thugs behind you.
I'm actually going to, for my attire for this, I'm going to have it set to the the outfit that I wore whenever I was performing at the tavern the previous night, or the
Oh,
2 nights
okay.
ago, whatever it is. So that if any of those people happen to be the ones that were in the tavern, or my reputation has preceded me, that it should hopefully help. At least not hinder, anyway.
Throw me a force die.
What?
Throw a force die. Okay, he wasn't there.
Okay. Whatever. But basically, she's gonna small talk with him, ask about how long the run takes to the mine and that kind of thing. And then she's going to basically try to get small talk and then say that she's got some friends of hers that need a ride to one of the old mines and inquire as to if him and his crew could possibly take us there after the normal run, of course.
It takes about a half an hour for us to get from here to the other end.
Mhm.
We pick people up, and it's a half an hour back. The train isn't scheduled to leave for 3 hours, or past that. So normally we're not allowed to make trains go for... do you have clearance from the mining corporation?
I do not. I didn't know who to even ask, really, so I figured I'd start with you, that either you would have the authority or could at least tell me who I'd have to go talk to.
It's not the normal thing that we do. It's not actually my train, it's the corporation's train.
Oh, I understand. But I'm sure they give you certain liberties. I mean, aren't you able to stop if there's an accident or anything like that?
Well, he looks over at the procedural chart and says, yeah, if there's some sort of accident or some sort of emergency, I do have to stop to make sure there's safety things being met.
Well, I mean,
But
we
I
just
have
got
to document it, and the paperwork's a bit of a pain.
Well, pains can be tolerated if the benefit is right.
And he looks you up and down. Oh, okay.
She's like, "How about this? I know that there's a popular substance in your community, and whatever the street name is that what's his name gave us for it.
Yep.
I've got my hands on some of that. I'd be willing to part with. And I will arrange for you and whoever your best friends are to have some drinks paid for at the tavern ahead of time, to where y'all don't have to worry about that in the future for a little while."
Okay, so you need to make a charm roll? Would that be...
Yeah, I would think it. Either charm or negotiation.
Whichever one is better for you, against 2. And because of his worrying about the job, I'm going to say there's a setback die.
Okay.
And you don't have the actual stuff here to put in his hand at the moment.
Right.
So there's no boost, there's no setback for you not having it. So you're 2 and a black against your dice.
And I remove a black. Oh, man. So I did not succeed. We got an advantage and a triumph.
A non-succeeding triumph. That's a fun one to do.
You could buy time.
Well, triumph could do more than that. Let's see here. How about so we'll say that the triumph is that he counteroffers because he's not particularly interested in the drugs himself. So he counteroffers with basically he decides he'll do it if we get the funds and that sort of thing.
So you need to give him some money. A decent amount of money.
I don't know what that decent amount would be with what his job is personally, but I've got almost 200 credits myself at the moment.
Okay.
Um,
And your advantage?
the advantage will be that he's willing to work it out where this will happen, where he's going to do it where he's able to drop us off on the way back, basically, for the train. So he's going to work out some sort of accident type setup or whatever the case may be there.
So the train is mostly empty on the way home in the morning.
Right, so he can stop without giving himself too much of a headache there. So.
Okay. And with the Triumph, I'm going to say you buy enough time that he doesn't penalize you for, like, you're blocking the clock
Gotcha.
when you're talking to him, not realizing that he has to go as your teammates arrive late.
Gotcha.
So your advantage cancels out the setback from the lateness, and the Triumph cleans up the situation nicely.
Okay. Sounds good.
So
basically, how many credits do I need to pay him? So
he's asking for at least minimum of 250.
Okay. I give him the 195 I have on me at the moment, and tell him I'll pay him the rest before we get off the train.
Okay. Your friends, basically everybody, the doors are all closing at the other ends, and he's looking out and buying you time, checking things, and he talks to somebody for the corporation, so he's not being late leaving. He's kind of playing along and doing his job, but he's just leaving late. Your teammates, and he lets you ride up in the cabin, like up in the front part with him.
Okay.
And you guys arrive, and you happen to have some credits and a cred stick, and
everyone had some credits from the previous night, so Shock is not really worried about coming up with an additional 55 credits to pay the guy whenever we get off the train.
With your tips and makeup from the night before, you basically emptied your pockets, and he accepted it.
Okay.
Sounds good. But then the rest of the crew is there with you, and he's a little, 5 of you with bulky stuff sticking out under, and he hits the go button, and he looking around like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
Like Shock is the only one without heavy weaponry and armor. That's obvious. He's like, man, what did I get myself into?
Hey, I've just got heavy clothes on. I'm good.
Oh, okay. Still, it's heavier looking armor than what Shaka wears.
But the big guy's behind you with bulky things poking out from there. He's not new.
Right. I mean, he knows we're up to something, but going to an abandoned mine in the wilderness probably told him that already. Or it should have.
And you have no mining gear.
Right.
And a whole lot of weaponry.
When we get there, make sure you toss the last his duffel.
He is. Oh, wow. You guys had time to pick that up? Great.
Yeah, we take care of our team.
Through the half-hour train, he pops the bag open, has a look inside. Oh, cool. And he plays with his gun with the proper tools and undoes all the mess-ups that somebody else did. And he's glaring over at Terzak the whole time. He's like, yeah, if I did this to your gun, you would not be happy. He's grumbling away and fixing his stuff.
I just kind of give him this knowing look, and I'm like under my breath, I said,
frankly, I didn't think you'd be alive at this point.
And then I just kind of look away from him. Just continuing his legacy type thing.
Uh-huh. He looks at you kind of funny. Yeah. Uh-huh. Anyways, so he takes you off. You zip to the mine. The people all exit. A handful of people get back on, like some of the night crew. That maybe it's the night security crew. and they get on, and the train turns around and comes back, and this train operator knows exactly where the cutoff is because it used to be his run. And with the bribe and the politeness and not wanting any trouble, he even informs you on the way out. He says, this is approximately it. So on the way back, you kind of know roughly. And then he trips a light switch, and a little blinking thing goes on the train, and he pulls the train to a stop. And he says, I would recommend you get out there and go hide, and wait till I blast the train, let some of the gases out, and then take off.
I'll let him know that we'll rendezvous here, and I'll have gotten his comm signal or a way to communicate with him to set up that for when we're ready to be picked up.
Okay. He is quite happy to think about that, and he says, "Now remember, the train, basically it's 19 minutes. So it'd be like at 4:19 or 8:19 that he would be in the area.
Okay.
That's approximately it. And once he goes past it, he's got to wait for the next train to come back and do a loop.
Right.
Okay, so he lets you out. He blasts some of the venting gases out of the train, creating a huge smoke screen around the train. Clears the light switch, and the siren goes off, and then train chugs off.
Awesome.
I hold out my hand promptly to Delast for my cloak.
He pops it off. You know I'm going to need it to go
sure
home,
there's
right?
nothing wrong with it.
He hasn't done anything
And I
yet.
just nod. The cloak is like, it obscures very well in the darkness. That's why I want it for stealth and stuff.
Yep.
But I take it and I put it back on, and I kind of like look it over real quickly to make sure there's no holes in it, like you promised there would be. And then I kind of just look at him and nod.
I haven't done anything to it yet, because I still have to wear it on the way home.
As we finally finally start making our way, I'm gonna look at Karlak because I mean, being the best hunter here, he's more at home in the wilderness than I am.
I take the lead for sure. Step out. Start moving towards the mine. How far is it through the wilderness?
It's a couple hours, and it's more of a rocky terrain that looks like this: purple moss and rocks everywhere, obscured vision up in the at least hidden by my little controls at the top of the screen here. There's mountain peaks. You wouldn't want to climb them. Then there's lightning every now and then. It arcs between the mountaintops.
And it's cold. You see Karlak pull his cloak, hooded cloak over his head.
It is cold and misty, and you head off.
And as we start the hike, basically, because it's Star Wars, I got to incorporate this. Shaka's gives a look around. Got a bad feeling about this.
You have to do that. It's a requirement.
I know. We got to fit it in somehow every session.
Okay.
Especially whenever when you're playing a city character who just found themselves in this.
That's right.
Don't worry, Shaka. We'll get you through safely.
Yeah, I got like a walking stick too, to help compensate for the fact that I have a significant limp and trying to walk over this rugged terrain.
Okay, well, you head for maybe an hour or so, and Karlak, you're in the lead, knowing roughly because you did the Google map. But honestly, when you look behind you, if any of you had to go home, you can see how some sort of human force cut a line through this terrain. If you could make it back to this valley, you could trek out. You wouldn't be lost.
Cool. I also have micro binoculars in my backpack that I pull out, and I'm scanning the area periodically and just taking mental note of different landmarks and just pieces of jagged landscape and stuff, just so I can get a good grip and understanding of where we are, the direct path in and out of this cavernous area that we're going into.
Okay. While you're doing that, you can make a perception check against 2 and a black. And I'm going to give you a boost die because of your previous encounter before the game, as the game was initially starting what you were doing.
Okay, very good. Let me see here. I'm going to use a destiny point. I don't even know what I'm doing this for. Sorry, let me flip that over. You said 2, right?
2 purple and a black.
Gotcha.
But you also have a boost die because of, and your success.
All right, so I'm scanning the area with my micro binoculars.
And on the rocks, you see some familiar multiple piles of little scat. And
Right.
with the weather being cold, you see steam coming off of it. And there's a lot of it.
Sorry, what was this? All scat?
Yeah, little poops everywhere.
Gotcha.
And
you see me bend down on my good knee, and I start picking it up and bringing it up to my nostril holes and start smelling it, tasting a little bit of it.
Okay, when you do that,
There's that grimaces.
I've seen Tuts do things that did not make me vomit, but you're making me want to right now. Just saying.
So I'm trying to get
grimaces beneath his mask.
I'm trying to get an idea, obviously, of who dropped these droppings.
Well, being what you've seen in the past, and what you've done, you hear a noise, and it sounds like this off in the distance. And at that point, you're like, oh, I know what that is. I brought many of them back. And these little creatures pop up over the rocks.
Right, so these are the things that I would bring it back to the cantina owner.
And there are many of these little fuzzy things. And you know that they have lots of chompy teeth, and they don't normally eat well because of where they live. And they love warm meals. And they are now heading in your direction. And there's a whole bunch of these little critters.
I would also know how to fight them then in large numbers, I would imagine.
Yep. Well, you didn't fight that many of them all at once before.
But you were by yourself, too, so.
That's true. Watch your toes.
Open fire.
And they get closer.
Oh my god, nice job, buddy.
Oh, man.
That's hilarious.
Oh, no. We're all gonna die. At least I'm gonna
These
die.
things are maybe a foot tall,
Right.
and they start charging at you. Like, almost like lemmings. I'm gonna eat. And they're heading in your direction. So, everybody can roll me a, since you had some warning that they were coming.
Yeah, I saw them coming in my micro binoculars. I'm like, oh.
They are quite a ways away. And
Scorekeeper.
it takes them a lot more work. You know that this is where, so it's a cool check for your initiative. But they move pretty slow compared to a human because they're so small.
Right.
And there's a lot of them in front of you.
Alright, so I reach in my bag and pull out a cylinder and start tossing it in my hand, waiting for them to get within range.
Like that?
Nicely.
They come at you quickly.
Oh, God.
Okay, so everybody can roll initiative rolls.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I sucked, so all of you go first.
Cool.
And
So you see me pull my micro binoculars back into my side utility belt, and when I do, I bring back out a cylinder and I just toss it in their direction. It arcs into the air and lands in a pile of a large accumulation of these little furry gremlin monsters.
Okay.
It's
So-
a
You throwing a grenade?
stun grenade, yeah. So this
Okay.
thing hits one of the jagged edges, and this big shock wave of energy comes out.
Okay. Like throwing grenades. Is that just a
It's a light
Range light.
range
light
light?
attack.
It's yep. So I guess you're
So
gonna use-
what range? What range? I was waiting for them to get close, right? Because
You're waiting for them to clump up.
Yeah, I was trying to get a large accumulation of them in short range, so I would have waited. So if these guys would have acted further out in the range band, I would let them go first, and I would just save this for later.
Okay.
You guys are using longer range weapons and stuff, right?
They're gonna. Well,
Oh yeah,
it's
I
a-
prefer
you're-
the range
if
band.
you're waiting for them to funnel in so you can get more of them.
Yeah, I'll go
Then-
last though.
Okay. And again, these things are barely a foot tall. They come up to your shins, maybe.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll just hold off my turn until
Okay.
a little bit later.
Then who would like to go?
I'll go ahead and go. I want to step in front of the group, kind of like where the massive hordes are coming, and I'm just going to go ahead and take a defensive stance maneuver.
Okay. The last pops off a shot and takes one out.
Okay. I guess I'll shoot one also. Is there any like difficulty?
Yep, it's against 2. You
Okay,
got
and I'll
one,
take an
one
aim.
for their range and one for their size.
Okay, so I'll take one aim also as maneuver. Okay.
And you evaporate
I
one.
think
Oh, but your setback die, you forgot it was on stun setting for your difficulties.
Oh.
You had it on stun.
Okay. So I don't evaporate him. I just hit him and he flies like 10 feet away from us.
Yep.
Okay.
There will be
Okay, so
one
that
turn
is
Alright.
2
until
of
the
the
tail.
23 of them dead. Shaka?
Yeah. So if they get into short range, I'll do something. Otherwise, I'm just letting the guys with blasters deal with them.
They will not get into short range this turn. Next turn, they will.
Then I don't have anything to do then, because I'll get my
Okay.
whip out, and that's about it.
Karlak, did you want to throw while they're still further away, or are you going to hold?
No, you just see Karlak. He's starting to bounce back and forth in like a rhythmic pattern on his 2 feet, kind of like in a dance, a battle dance. And
Stimming, waiting for battle.
and he's throwing the grenade in his hand, and he starts to whistle in this weird audible sound coming from this fang mouth Trandoshan, and he starts to chant this chant. He's like,
We run after meats, we nip at their feet, we try and run fast, but be not first but be last. But escape is a dream, the only outcome a scream. Your minds, scorekeeper, it's time. Witness.
and he throws the grenade after he's finished.
Okay, so they're at a little further range away.
Alright. I'll take a
Um,
difficulty, an extra difficulty for that.
Yep. So 1 normally, 2 for the, or it was 2. You're taking 3 difficulty to try to get multiple of them within a blast radius at that range.
Alright, I'm gonna flip a point too because I need it, because light range is not really my expertise.
Okay.
So 2 purple, you said?
It'd be 3 because of the range
Okay, this might not end well
and their
for us.
size.
I got a whole lot of nothing.
Okay, so an explosion goes off in front of them, and I'm going to make them make a fear check.
Okay.
And I'm going to give them against 3. And since you have no destiny points in your favor, I'm going to bump their 2 greens to 1 green and 1 yellow. And being that it was such a big boom, I'm giving them a setback die. And they are shaken from this. They are not in a good condition. They scatter, and they will take one extra turn as a group between the fear and the setbacks to make it to you, so they cannot attack next turn. You have one free round of shooting before they would actually get to do anything or doing things next turn. So, round 2, who would like to go? All 4 of you can. All 5 of you can. The last starts the turn, and he'll pop off a shot and reduce your numbers of bad guys down from 23 down to a total of 21 now.
I will take him into switch weaponry, so pull out my axe again off my shoulder, and I'll take 2 strain to do an extra maneuver, and I will also take a defensive stance. Now, from that strain that we had suffered,
You slept, it's all gone.
Okay, cool.
You guys are back to normal.
Good, so I'll take that extra strain just to take defensive stance and just wait to see if some of these close so I can swipe them away with my Vibra axe.
Okay.
I'm still doing a whistle. I'm not chanting at this point, but I'm still doing like some little war dance whistling thing.
Anyone else?
Once they're in short range,
They are at short range, but they cannot get to you. They have to spend 2 maneuvers to close their band.
Okay, well, I'll take a swipe at them.
So it's 2, I think.
I will use a maneuver to aim. Did they have setbacks, you said?
1 for their size. They're okay. One of them gets a bonus maneuver and charges in your direction.
Ah! He grabs onto the end of the whip and charges me.
He's pulling the whip. He bit the whip, and as you're recoiling the whip back, you're pulling him in.
All right. Yeehaw.
It's like fishing.
So he makes it close, but he cannot attack because he used his maneuvers to get in. He can attack next turn, except for 2 problems. The guy with the axe and the guy with the fists are about to turn him into mush.
Okay. I'll fire another shot, so...
Okay.
Boom. Ooh. That is a crit. So I'm just going to assume I just turn one of them to mush.
You can forgo your crit and have it go through one and take a second one out.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, so you're now down to 19.
And I turn my head and look at Delast.
And I'm like 3-2.
Oh, so that's how it is. All right. I see that.
Alright.
Go ahead, Grim. You're there dancing around ready to do something.
Is
There's
that
one on the end of the whip.
the one on the end of the whip I can reach? Then yeah,
Yep.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna definitely pop that sucker.
And as you're doing so, his fangs gnarl in your direction. And he looks very angry and enraged. And his eyes... You can make me a force roll.
Ooh. Just a blank force roll.
Blank force die. To start.
It's always black.
And in this case, as its eyes... the other people don't notice it, but his eyes glow bright red.
Ooh.
That of the fabled lightsabers of the Sith. As it seems like, and it turns, and it was going to go for Shaka, and it looks at you and go, ha ha, and it wants to eat you. And it picks it. So
I can't take these things serious at all.
Oh my god. It's really hard. All right.
They remind me of like a scarier version of those like little troll things that
Yep.
like super long curly hair on top of them with like a little gem in their belly.
I found a toy online, and I had some fun with Photoshop.
That's
Nice.
awesome. So yeah, I hit him and I hit him good.
Have you rolled yet?
Yeah, I just rolled.
Oh, okay, because I was about to change one of those dice. But no problem. The next guy will get the benefits of him identifying you as a Force user.
Okay. Ooh, great. Yeah, I'm just gonna like grab him and just like punch him so hard he just explodes.
What's your damage?
6 is with 3 successes and 1 advantage.
Okay, so your normal that's +2 damage because of your bonus pluses.
Okay. So 8.
Okay, you hit it and you turn it in. You basically punt it for extra distance, and it's good through the uprights. And no one else notices this, but as you do that, it leaves a glowing red trail that your eyes would pick up
Got it.
that no one else does. Okay. Anyone else on this turn?
Yeah, me still. So in
Okay.
the area that was decimated from my stun grenade, I'm gonna run in that direction, just
Okay.
trying to draw the ire and attention of these little chewy gremlin monsters, just to try to keep them away from my more range focus allies. And I started to do like a whirlwind spin with my axe extended, so just going crazy in this spin with my axe out. Just trying to swipe away anything and
Okay.
everything.
Then you can make a melee roll against 2.
Cool. That I can do. Alright, so
Okay.
Oh snap!
that's a crit, but I don't know. I don't want to crit these things. I'm gonna
Well-
just use that as a.
Are you swatting them, or like would your axe be severing them in half?
I wouldn't be more. It wouldn't be like focused fire on one specific thing. It's more like it's just like I said, just a whirling dervish type attack where I'm just spinning around and just slicing as many as I can, just knocking them away.
Your critical that would have activated would be how much would be the plus?
Oh, that would be plus 50
Okay.
on the
I
dice
am
roll.
going
On the roll.
to. I would like you to roll me a percentile die.
So that we're at 87%.
Okay. You take out 7 in the swoop with
Cool.
this lopping,
So there's this,
massive arcing.
this-
Like,
as I slice through the gooey bodies of these things with this large vibro axe, you just see like this torrential downpour of like guts and gore as this thing just starts dripping as you start to descend.
This is how we had so many whenever we met him.
Yeah, that's right.
okay. And with their knowing that their numbers have been cut in half, literally,
Hey, I see what you did there. Nice.
they turn and flee.
I started to limp after them, screaming profanities and Trandoshan.
And then while you're limping, the last from behind you takes a shot and says, "Hey, you know what? That's not good." And he only kills 1. He was trying to go for another one to like bonus kills for. Your mic's off, Tyler.
I'm not letting him tie me. I'm shooting another one.
Okay. As they flee, the 2 of you go off in your gun barrage, and eventually they duck behind rocks, and they are gone. And
Question is, does one of the snipers have a better range on his weapon to get the one last shot as they run away?
Well, okay, and it's just a straight dice roll. I'm going to throw his dice of 2 yellow and 2 green. No
As
gear.
they're like having the shot, the
Whoever
shoot-off
gets the better roll between you gets the last kill.
With the same difficulty too. Okay.
Yep.
Ooh. Well,
Just roll
he
your
made
guns.
a fatal error.
Just roll your gun
Okay.
rolls, but not.
Here we go. I believe. I believe, guys. Do you believe? I believe.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah! How's that?
No!
Especially with my gun. So the score's tied. You
And
didn't
like
win
as
this
the
round.
snipers like yell at each other and whatnot, Shaka's gonna walk over and say, "By the way, guys, Karlak won."
He looks at you for a second, and he kind of, oh shit.
As Karlak turns back towards you,
No, I'm just kidding.
as I turn around towards you, you see my green skin is just like saturated in like purple and
sloop.
green goo from these creatures, and I start laughing hysterically.
Okay, guys, it
I'm
is now.
just like witness.
Okay, it is now 10:42. Am I pausing it there, or do you wish to make it to where I would set up the next one and pause it there?
I need to call it a night personally, but
Yeah, I'm with you there, Josh. I think it's pretty much end time for me as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I will leave it as you clearing this, and you happen to come across as you've come out of the train. I will give you the opening scene.
There's us closing in on the abandoned
You
mine.
see the mine. It's been cut into the ground, and as you come over and you look down into this abandoned mine, and you're scouting the area, mainly because of your not being silly adventurers who wouldn't take precautions, like you've crept up on it and you're checking the area carefully. You are looking for signs of your prey. What that means to different people in this scenario is a little different to others. But as you are looking, Grim, this flashes in your mind briefly.
Oh.
And we hit to be continued. And
Just so I don't forget, I want to make it clear that I want to go investigate the little glowing sucker.
There's bodies around still.
Yeah.
so, for
Five
those
change.
of you, we will be continuing next Thursday. And I would like to thank all of my friends for joining us tonight. And for those of you who are playing with wives at home that are going to take wrath for us taking too long, my apologies to your better halves. And you can offer me up as tribute, because it is partially my fault for my computer delays with the internet. And for those of you who are watching at home, I would like to say thank you for joining. And I did not accomplish a tide of change. Gentlemen, do we have time to throw this together quickly before we go, and we will have the fans pose what's going to happen next?
We can always do it over the Facebooks, I imagine.
Okay, so for those of you who are watching, stay tuned on the Facebook channel. The players are going to give me their tides of change. I will post them to the group, and what happens next? We will see next Thursday night. Same bat time, same bat channel.